Hello, everybody. Fix that music. All right. Hi. How we doing?
Hello.
Hey.
We have the right overlay on. We have you guys inside the right overlay seats. All of us are here. Jake's hair is up. Most things are good. Most things are good. And Neil still thinks he's a samurai.
Oh.
If it was samurai, it'd be very different.
Oh yeah?
Doesn't it like loop back into the
can't. What's the name?
It's like a little like
Don't they like shave this part of it?
No, they shave like this. They shave the sides.
Just the receding hairline.
So they have thin-ish sides, have bald bits here, and then have like a bun resting
and it,
like that
loop
along the
of
head,
hair.
but it doesn't go to the front. It's like
It's like how Snoop Dogg, his hairline starts behind my headphones, but then he still has dreadlocks behind that.
Did you see the it's a great thing on Twitter. There's a breaking news from Loud Bible, which somehow has become some sort of crappy UK news outlet saying,
Hey, there's a
breaking
Loud Bible
news!
Australia too.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking news.
Jake actually might be right.
Snoop Dogg is caught smoking a joint before the Super Bowl, and it was like the top comments from some Brit being like, "Wow, next they'll catch Winnie the Pooh eating honey."
I actually did see this, and I don't know how I saw it, and I saw that comment, which is hilarious. But I also saw people being like, from America, being like, he should get arrested. Da, da, da. It's like, bro, it's been legal in California for like over 10 years. Like, it's $100 fine. Like, smoking in public is $100 fine.
Yeah, but that's your society. It's like whatever crime it is, they need to be like times 10 the sentence. Right? If you shoplift, you're going away for at least 7, 8 years.
Well, that's
and you'll remember when you get out. If you get out, you won't do that again.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is very much true. It is very much you did the crime. You die. What?
Not in every case, though.
That's true. If you sexually abuse thousands of children, but you also happen to be wealthy, you might just get your own island as a reward instead. So, I mean, it's kind of like you have to case by case scenario. You really have to judge the merit of the case before you come to a conclusion.
This is very edgy.
Tesh has been trying to say something for like a long time, and I
was gonna say Jake actually might be right in that. I found when I looked up samurai hair, a lot of the more traditional ones, they are shaved on the top, and it looks like only like contemporary versions have
they got a thing on top.
Yeah, they put the hair back onto the top of like a little bit of the hair back onto the top of the head.
Well, I feel like it's. I'm just gonna.
Okay, how about this? We can all just agree. He's trying to grow his Padawan braid. That's what it is.
What's it called?
He's just trying to get his Anakin on. So you get a little Padawan braid.
It does begin with C. And I don't know.
Cromage.
It's like Chonmei.
Chonmei.
But it's spelled Chonmei in English in anglicized text. However, it won't be pronounced anything like that, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually going to attempt a serious pronunciation because I don't want to be totally offensive. But it's quite.
Get that ass, Percy. That's right.
It's quite a look.
Percy was going to town for a moment there.
Was he actually?
Yeah, he was running in circles trying to get his own booty.
Oh God.
He's got the zoomies.
Yeah, as soon as you turn around, you saw him. He's like, pew!
Shut off.
That's what Artie's like as well. When Artie's got the zoomies, I'll like look at her and she'll just freeze, and she'll just totally freeze, totally not move, and then I'll go, whoa, and she'll go.
All right.
She's so cute.
We should get into the session. Okay.
What do you mean? It's only been 15 minutes? It's not the hour.
Yeah, we've still got 45 minutes of bullshittery.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Tess, you choose the next topic.
Fuck.
I'm not gonna sue.
I got one. You know what show I started watching that's really old that I remember watching when I was like a lot younger?
Fraggle
Prison
Rock.
Break. Do you remember that show?
Oh, Prison Break was
he
that
spoke over you, so I
CW,
didn't hear what you
CW
said.
show, I think.
Well, yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Scott said Fraggle Rock over it.
Yeah, I started watching Prison Break again, and
I remember
is
seeing
it
a bit of
that
the
old?
Bro,
whole
this
thing.
show went on for 12 years.
it's old. I'd seen like the first 2 seasons, alright, then you know, spoilers for a 12-year-old show. When he has to break out of 2 different jails, it's that's it for me.
Okay, for a
But when
record,
it's Prison Break 2.
I have literally never seen a single episode of this series ever, and it went on for 12 years. But that's because it's like a CW. I mean, you just look at the pictures, and you're just like, this is the most angsty friggin' here's an
The
image.
first season is good. I will give it that. I've actually been.
Yeah, I
enjoying
remember
it.
watching a bit of the
It's
first
so
season and
angst.
enjoying that, but I didn't.
Oh,
and it's
It
one of
is
those shows
angsty.
like that they used to make like the commercial. You know, like they'd make certain spots where they'd stop for the commercial, and you
Yeah.
can tell every time like that happens.
Watching any show like that's more than like 5 or 6 years old, you could see that it's just dramatic fade out to black, back into it instantly.
I love what he's doing right now. He's so cute.
Okay.
Well, I've started watching. I was like, man, I need to watch something to absorb the time that I don't need to be super invested in, because I've got a bunch of shows saved up for in hospital. I got like Arcane, etc.
Yes.
I tried that show. I could not get it. The art style and the writing was so bad.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too modern for you. Like
No,
full
modern.
color.
No,
a bit
modern.
too.
Jokes aside, Arcane look like PlayStation 3 graphics. Like, why
Yeah,
do I
yeah.
want to watch
It's-
a show?
It's,
that looks like
it's
PlayStation 3
stylized.
graphics?
Yeah.
It's
See,
so
I
bad.
disagree. I think that Arcane is a beautiful show.
Oh
I
god.
loved the art style.
I see, like if I'm gonna watch an animation, I want it to be animated well, not like
That's
somebody
interesting.
not like somebody
No.
used Unreal 2 for their engine to make.
I
it
don't
in
think
2018.
I don't think that's a good way of putting it, because it's very much, it's so well animated that they deliberately put like lens effects into it. Like it may not be to your liking, but I don't think it's like enough to say it's not done well.
It felt like I was watching Final Fantasy VIII cutscenes. I was like, oh boy, this is like.
You need to watch
painful
Final
to
Fantasy VIII cutscenes again.
Nope. That's fair. That's fair. But it was, or better yet, it was more like, what's that? Once more with feeling. That Valkyria Chronicles. It looked more like Valkyria Chronicles cutscenes. Is a more accurate way of putting it.
Which is again stylized.
Sure, but also not awe-inspiring. Not like
See, you say that, but literally everyone I know and every review I've seen talks about how ridiculously good the facial animations are compared to everything else.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but,
No, I thi-
but you have to remember that Scott's coming at it from like an entirely untrained point of view, which I will as well, where you're literally just absorbing like what you're seeing, not like looking at like, oh, this person's face or eyes are well animated, etc. Like the man's just sitting there, and he's just eating a banana. He just wants to watch this easy to watch thing, and it's like and making him look at these animated characters' eyes. Anyway, I'm watching Naruto. That's where this all came from. But like OG Naruto, so it's old. It's giving me some Dragon Ball vibes. Not gonna lie.
Well, it was very much designed for an American audience. Like, all right, how many of these can we pump out and make these morons watch? Because I watched Dragon Ball Z so many times. It's so bad.
I get.
Like
I've
like everything
rewatched.
so bad.
I rewatched as an adult Dragon Ball Z, and then Super. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process.
I stopped at
I
than-
don't think they're
other than
bad.
filler.
I can't get into them just because they're so long.
but
It's
they're
such
bad
an
because like
investment.
the writing like the story arcs are good. The problem is when a story arc could take 15 episodes, but instead it takes about 75 episodes because there's at least an hour of podcasting at the beginning of the session. It slows down. You know what I mean?
have to say though, Dragon Ball Super cuts out a lot of the added filler until the final arc. I found that to be very fillery. I was kind of bored. I was like, get on with it.
Which arc was that one?
It's like you won't know. It's the tournament. What's it? Tournament of Power. I think is its name.
You're talking about Super. Then my apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that word. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, I loved Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball's fun too, but I love Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, it's Naruto has way less fluff episodes comparatively. Like in the fluff episodes aren't as egregious.
Yeah, like right now he's
thousands of episodes.
Right now he's like a total little shit, but like equally he's an orphan, and I can kind of like deal with that. Like, and I'm willing. I'm seeing some character development already. You know, like 3 or 4 episodes in.
That's like my least favorite trope in anime is making the main character annoying. I like when they manage to have them have character development. That's different. But if they make them needlessly annoying, it can be infuriating.
Yeah. You see, it's because the viewer needs to have some way to relate, and the creators of this content, they're like, how do we relate it to the viewer? Make him annoying, obnoxious beyond belief.
I love that show. Something about that character I
That's
just make a connection with.
I never made it through
Viking,
Evangelion.
that's spoilers.
Because of the main character. Every time I try to watch Evangelion, the main character is what stops me from watching it.
Yeah. I mean, there are some main characters you're just like, oh my god, I wish you would literally just leave.
Yeah, that's Carrie from Sex and the City, Ted from How I Met Your Mother. You know, like.
Okay, one final bit.
Okay.
One final bit about anime. This season of Demon Slayer was pretty pog. That's all
I haven't seen Demon Slayer at all yet. It's on my list.
Either have I, and I've just been seeing it like come up a lot lately, and
it was good.
Watch it.
The animation is very good.
There?
Only 3.
Okay.
3 or 4. and they're like, then it doesn't have much in ways of filler, to be honest. So it's quite easy to watch. Just the animation's very good. The soundtrack's really good. Very good.
I haven't watched the Witcher animated series yet, but that's because like in the first 20 seconds they're like slaughtering children, and I'm like, I have to be in a certain kind of mood to watch the wanton.
There's an
slaughtering
animated
children.
series.
You know? Yeah, you get what I'm saying, Neil. You have to like desire it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I didn't know there was an animated series. I knew there was an animated movie.
It's not.
My apologies. Animated movie.
It might be like what's the term for like a series that like is big episodes?
So
it's like a
mini-series.
Yeah, it's like a 3-part. Like, so it's essentially a film that's split into. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. It was
that's
good.
Also on my list. Yeah,
but there were certain bits about it I didn't like.
It's like, again, I have to be like to just walk in and they're like, so to start the world off, murder children. I'm like, there was another show I tried to watch, and it opened up with, maybe in Demon Slayer, it opened up with a dude inside of a bar, and they just started beating the fucking shit out of each other, and there's like blood everywhere, and it was like some sort of vampire hunter show or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was just like beating the shit out of each other as like the opening scene inside of a bar, and I'm just like I want some story before I get the angst. Like too much like emo-y, angsty kind of dark shit. Like as the opening, it's just it doesn't appeal to me. I haven't been a teenager in a long time.
Speaking of story. No, I said that would be my last. I can't bring up another topic.
All right, good. So, do you want to give us a recap what happened last session, Neil?
What did happen last session? Right. Let's get the map up. That would be useful.
Sure. I should get my notes up.
What's that? Paradel, right? Exclamation point Peredhel.
Correct. I give 8 out of 8 on your spelling. Tell me Paradel's 8 words. 8 letters. 1, 2.
But if you hear some people pronounce it, it's Peren.
Yeah.
Del.
That That's how you tell the difference between uncultured and cultured people. Right. So last time on Inclame, the party traveled from McGlynn, where we received our orders, which I will get to shortly, to the town of
Melissa Harbor.
Melissa Harbor, south of Jihuan in Daelric. And we had been sent there. Our orders were given by the previous Master of War, whom we met in Renetslav, Commander Zephyr. Whether he's a commander or not, I don't know, but whatever. Field commander, perhaps. High commander, I think. But he's acting as a field commander, regardless. Anyway,
he had Master of War Zephyr Diamondback, and that's what I've got him written down as. So I don't actually know what his rank is now that he's not Master of War.
Yeah, I think he's a high commander.
He's a high commander acting as a field commander, as he just said. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Look at that.
Well done.
Good old noggin. We were given our orders directly from him, which means that it comes directly from the River King, which is how our arrangement works. We were to head to Millisil Harbor, which we chose to head by sea via a merchant vessel and made it into the city, where we were to assist the local garrison with the quelling, destruction, removal, solving of issues involving rebels, dissidents, guerrilla fighters. And look at Persia, and so what we discovered is there are 4 or 5 or 6 major factions in the area.
Kingsguard, Harbor Masters, Jihuan Warriors, who you just mentioned. Then for the kind of like
Dice
underbelly,
Lords?
Dice Lords, Merchants, and the Black Knights.
Black Knights, yeah.
And the
Black Knights were
that tickled your fanny. Yep.
Yeah, they're the ones that are acting like they're rebels to gain everyone's sort of like trust and make themselves look good, but they're very much in it for their own gains.
That could easily have been like a third of a session just discovering that, but I think one of you guys rolled like a fucking nasty, disgustingly high check and discovered that pretty early. So you kind of circumvented a whole bunch of research just to even discover that. So.
And so we discovered these were the various factions. We managed to piss off the second in command of the garrison and then reach a sort of amiable agreement with the commander of the garrison. And we had decided, I believe, that each group would require a different tact. But the place that we might want to start would be with making a name, a reputation for ourselves, even though we're a nameless group at the moment.
Did you guys go over the name in the past 5 weeks?
Well, no. I was about to say, do we want to lock in Kingfishers?
Yeah, that's what we...
I think that became the default one because you guys had...
that was the one we were like, we like it, but we can't, and then, well, we'll see if we can think of anything else. And then we couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah. Giving yourself a name is very difficult, you see, because usually it comes naturally. It's much better when it comes naturally. You don't want to force it to come.
Oh, Jesus.
So we decided to start with the Black Knights. And the sort of proffered tactic for the moment was a sort of brutal dismantling of their organization. Where we would find the leaders and beat them to death in short order.
It's funny because like
Batman strategy.
It sounds like he's joking with that last part, but I believe that is genuinely the strategy. At this
it's
point.
Not to kill, to dismantle and take down, but yeah.
No, kill the leaders. Yeah.
I thought we were handling this very violently.
Yeah,
we are handling it violently.
Like heroes.
They likely won't let us take them alive.
Okay.
Or,
I'm not doing a Batman.
Listen, Norway, Malisal Harbor. These are the heroes they need. These are the heroes they deserve. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we were also gonna try and find proof that they are in fact just in it for themselves.
Besides,
to help.
Can we get some flump in chat for goodly people slaughtering for heroes? Can we get some flump in chat on that? That makes sense.
To be fair, we deliberately chose this faction because they were the worst of them.
I mean, these people are pretending to be heroes.
You're not beating the shit out of Granny for jaywalking. You know, you're at least going for the crack dealer, like 50 Cent. Yeah. So.
No comment.
Okay.
What is that? It's got a little sword. Oh. Boy.
The only bush.
Okay. The bush.
Well,
that's Ryan's.
That's why it's got a sword. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Bush camping. You sit in a bush, kill anyone that comes close.
Oh, probably from that game that everybody plays where there's a murderer in Survivors.
No, it's not from DBD. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's bushes in that really.
You're such a boomer, Scott. I love it.
I don't play.
I literally thought. It's so funny. Really thought he was trolling, and then I was
at my brother's for the Super Bowl, and like they're talking about all these video games. Granted, mostly MMOs, which I don't like to begin with, anyways. But they're talking about all these video games, and they're like, "You right?" And I'm like, "No, like I don't play video games. I don't have time for that."
Can you at least appreciate the KOTOR cinematic trailers that they keep putting out? Because they put out another one.
Oh, I saw the one that came out yesterday.
Yeah, it was so good.
It's just so funny because like purple lightsabers have this probably is the best time to talk about this because I can go for a long time. But purple lightsabers have such a deep meaning, depending on if you're Jedi or Sith, and both factions very much dislike them. I mean, obviously you as an individual make your bonds to it, but both Jedi and Sith dislike purple lightsabers. So when I saw that, and I was like, wow.
You want to hear a real funny story about why purple lightsabers exist at all?
I mean, I know Mace Windu.
Yeah, no. Do you know why he has a purple lightsaber?
He asked for it, and what's his name said no, it has to be green or blue, and he was like, come on. And he was like, all right. Fine.
Do you know why he asked for it though? Because he's said that in an interview as well. He asked for it so that he could see himself in the big battles.
Oh, so it'd stand out like when it's pulled back. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But I'm trying to remember, and this is most likely, because that Mace Windu would have existed with his purple lightsaber. You saw his purple lightsaber not in episode 1, in episode 2. So I'm trying to, what came out first, KOTOR or episode 2? Probably episode 2, right?
That's a good point, actually.
It was probably 2003, 2005, if I had to guess. So, because I want to say KOTOR came out after I graduated high school, but episode 2 came out while I was in high school. So if I had to guess, 2003, 2005, episode 2 came out first. But yeah, both sides aren't big fans of purple lightsabers. So the reason why Sith don't like them is because purple lightsabers are natural lightsabers that you attune to, whereas red lightsabers are synthetically created lightsabers because they're
1
superior.
year is different. 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was episode 2, and then KOTOR was next year.
What were the years?
2002, 2003.
Oh, I was off by a couple of years. Okay.
I was up by.
You were close.
Yeah, I knew it was like back then. So, but
it's weird to think that's fucking 20 years ago.
Well, it's Viking. It also has to do with the synthetic crystals, which is an important thing.
Love the whole the way that white lightsabers are made. The whole the fact that they are crystals that have been bled and then purified again.
Yeah.
It's such a cool idea.
I mean, only one character's ever done it, but it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
So who knows if that can even be done again, or if that was literally just done because of who she was. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
Oh, I will say, you said something about. I just realized you said something about synthetic lightsabers. I heard that
that's
now,
not a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's bleeding now.
Yeah, that's right. Because I also remember really enjoying the idea that the crystals actively avoided Sith, and so they had to make synthetic ones.
Well, no, it was just because the Force itself and knowledge of local peoples would lead the Jedi to discover the crystals. So kind of what you were saying there, but also the Jedis are hoarding douchebags, which is part of what that video
that's
is literally
true.
about, the one that came out yesterday. So they wouldn't share that information amongst except for people that were actively going to Ilum or whatnot to get their crystals. So the Sith were just like, all right, fuck you guys, we're just gonna make our own synthetic ones, so they could mass produce synthetic crystals without having to sit around and like meditate, circle jerk to discover them. So
yeah, okay. We've got an anywho in chat, so we should continue.
yeah. So not continue, Tesh. Begin.
Hard.
Yeah. All right. So so yeah, you guys have decided you're gonna go and hunt down and slaughter the Black Knights. It's perfect music for talking about hunt down and slaughter. Turn it down a little low. Okay. So you kind of like come to this discovery, made this realization, so on and so forth, and you also know that the Black Knights themselves, I believe you found out that their location, if you will, is kind of all throughout the city of Malisal Harbor. Like they don't have a dedicated location that you've been able to discover the base for, anything like that. But that's also because they wear masks all the time. They feel very Joey inspired. They definitely are not easy to differentiate, right? So if you happen to come across a random flower shop owner or a high lord or a slum peasant or whatever it might be, all these people could easily be Black Knights, going Batman style, right? Bruce Wayne by day, Black Knight by night. Either way, so you came to this realization, you come to this decision, so on and so forth, but you hadn't really discovered how it is you're going to go and beginning hunting these people down. I know one of the things that we talked about is, obviously you need to have a start to get started. Literally just said, you don't know where any of the people could be found. So you have the route of kind of like trying to uncover where these people may be, following rumors, so on and so forth, etc., etc., etc. You can literally just kind of putt around each day and hope that you just come across a situation like a spotting of Batman or so on. Like, what direction did you guys want to take to try to discover these Black Knights?
Did we have an idea of where to start? I can't remember. I know we talked to Field Commander
Marilla.
Marilla. Thank you. There we go. Marilla.
You haven't spoken to Marilla though. You spoke to Elsie.
No, we did actually speak to Marilla because that was where
we didn't. We spoke to the one up from the LC, and then
Yep.
that person's up from them again.
I thought Marilla was the one we were supposed to talk to.
Spoke
She's just
to,
in charge of like the region or something, right?
Yeah. So you spoke to the
bad.
BC and the LC. So Lieutenant Centurion Zilfine.
Raylor. We spoke to Raylor.
And you spoke to Battle Commander Raylor. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Zilfine was an absolute douche to you guys. And then when Raylor spoke to you afterwards, he wasn't kind and he wasn't a jerk. He was kind of dismissive. He was like, if this is the way things are going, fine. Then let's see how it plays out. Like, you don't have my full support, but at the same time, I'm not going to get in your way. And then one of you guys made a comment. I don't remember which one of you it was. We'll just assume it was Tesh.
Tristan, actually.
Tristan, that more or less got him to be like, fine, you have my support as well. And then you're like, was that so hard? And he's like, ah. And so don't forget, you do have, I believe, I forget what it's called, 20 soldiers at your command when needed. They're not going to follow you around like lapdogs, but they're around when you need them. I'm going to try to get the name for you as you guys put your brains together. Where is...
Platoon.
Is that what it is, a platoon?
Yep, platoon of soldiers is what I've written, which I wouldn't use the word platoon unless you did.
Makes sense. And to confirm that, it is a platoon. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Because that's right, because Jake's a PT. And battle tacticians are allowed to, on normal, like obviously there's extenuating circumstances, but normally they're allowed to have a platoon under their command. Yep. Whereas you, sir, are a excellent, and they're allowed. You're usually an individual person. When you become a chief excellent, you're allowed to control 5 people under your command on your own. So,
Cool.
and what's his face is a champion, which are also that's their lowest rank that can take solo tasks. So, all right, perfect. And now we're gonna spend the next 20 minutes complaining about never getting promotions. And we jump cut 20 minutes.
I would like to bring
we jump
yeah,
cut 20 minutes, and here we go. So how are you guys gonna go and start searching for these bastards?
Well, I heard they're well known for their big nights on the town, so we should probably hit the taverns up.
Okay.
Okay.
They're known for going to bars and just like shots.
Yeah, like a certain slumbering queen might be.
that will forever be Jake's nemesis, just always.
I mean, I actually have to full disclosure that like this was like framed as my idea, but Jake actually messaged me as soon as he found out that they wore masks. He said we have to kill all of them. He seems to have some sort of PTSD involved. I'm not really sure, but he was definitive that we must kill them for wearing masks. So
Okay, awesome. There's more context to Jake's comment, but let's keep going. So, so you, jokes aside, what do you want to, what's your approach here, boys?
Can you give us a rundown of what we know about them again in terms of like
already more than
what
you'd
we heard?
expect. Already more than you'd expect because of his really high check there. Because that knowledge I gave you for all the different groups, right? So, but specifically for the Black Knights, the really high information you got about the Black Knights was that not only are they, they're known to be the criminals, right? It's part of the criminal underbelly.
Yeah.
But you guys realize that they're part of the criminal underbelly, but they're also terrorists. And what they do is they kind of manipulate both sides to be beneficial for themselves. So it's not like they are, in fact, one of the terrorist factions, but they're doing so because it helps to stir up controversy and generate a profit for themselves, right? Like they're playing both sides of the aisle here.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was one of the things where it's like, you're not like, at least if you're a terrorist because you're a freedom fighter, if you will, if you're like doing it for a cause that you genuinely believe in, it's like you're still an evil fuck, but I can get behind that mentality. But you're like a whole step beyond that. You're just straight up doing this for profit.
Yeah.
So that being said, you're like, I can't stand 2 Americas. You know, there's no, right? Like how many military industrial complexes could you possibly tolerate? You guys are like, we draw the line here.
We can probably try and check out if there's any records at the garrison of like their last big attack or
it's not
Viking.
it's not a bad shout. We should probably see that we can find out, do they all wear the same mask?
Oh, that's actually that's basic information you'd have. Thank you, Neil. So the masks aren't all identical, but what you'd be able to, again, with that 31 check you got beforehand, we'd be able to know is that different masks will allude to different ranking. So, you know, more simple masks will be for people who are clearly lower ranks, but the more extravagant masks will be for people for higher ranks. The important thing to note is that it's not like there's any like glitter or gold filigree or silver filigree or anything like that on these masks or whatnot. They're all still meant to be simple enough that if you were just in the middle of the night, in the middle of an alley, beating the shit out of each other, you wouldn't really be able to differentiate between this person with just their mask. But if you had the masks removed from the people and put in front of you, you'd be able to see all the details that suggest, oh, this one has more of a design to it. This one's a better fabric. This one has more contours to the face, et cetera, et cetera. And in that scenario, you can realize, okay, cheap mask for low rank, nice mask for high rank, right? So it's not one of those things where you're like, I'm in a crowd, but I know who the commander is. You know? With like a really high perception check. In walks 143.
Also, just assume that whenever we go to the barracks, I am checking the commissary for deliveries.
yeah, and that's not going to come anytime soon, right?
I know, but I'm just saying.
But eventually, yes.
We also have a copy of like a map of the city that is on our wall in our apartment thing.
That's right, yeah.
That I replaced the locks on. Remember that, Scott?
Yes, with expensive locks.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we can be fairly certain that due to the nature of them, they probably meet in different places. But they've also been established for a period of time. So they probably do frequent the same meeting points periodically. Like, you know, we like this warehouse. It's not so drafty, you know. We've only had to shank one guy who walked in on the meeting. Like, you know, you develop preferences. You're only human.
But boss, I like the shanking.
Also, if they're in it for their own gain, there's only so much they'd be willing to put themselves through as far as like going the extra mile to make sure they're not getting caught. Whereas someone like the John warriors might go to the extreme to make sure they're not caught.
Yeah. Yes, you're more likely to have them bribe someone than stab someone.
Yeah.
Which probably leads to taverns not being a bad place to start. Like,
find out where they
gather information rolls where you want to do them secretly. How about we just don't do them secretly and we start asking about people with masks? And then when people with masks show up when we're on some alleyway between taverns, we just break their knees and get them to tell us some more information.
Honestly, not a bad idea.
The guys, I'm the blunt instrument. This is all I got.
What we're learning is Tristan is Batman.
Well, I did make sure. I asked the BC if we could have an interrogation room as well, if you remember. So we did.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still laws that we got to consider with regards to that sort of stuff.
And they made a comment about that, like, you may be able to interrogate, but remember, there are rules here. But at the same time, you guys also know that, like, in Delegas, the rules are more of guidelines.
Yeah. Also, I have a disguise self potion that we could kill the guy and then I could just disguise myself as that guy and walk out. You know what I'm saying?
How long does it last?
Interesting.
Jake, then there's still a dead body in there.
Yeah, but we'll just work that out. I'll shove him in the haversack. We'll cut him up and we'll put him in the haversack. And then Tesh is going to clean up with the prestidigitation.
That doesn't make it go away. That just makes it move elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll move it into...
it just goes out.
Into some container, all right?
Yeah, he just goes out with his chamber pot, but inside the chamber pot is the haversack, and he like...
I have a
terrible night.
I'm just I hate this.
Oh my God.
This is all horrifying.
Somebody just watches his chamber pot, just blood coming out. Like, mate, shit, that shit looked at.
Wait up. Could I with that turn like a thing full of blood into wine?
No.
I mean, I'm not saying we drink it, but I don't know. That's pretty.
No, that is quite clear. Tears, like, dude, tears are not blood. Oh no, non-magic liquids.
Non-magic liquids.
Including, oh no.
It does say tears, seawater, and similar fluids.
Similar fluids is the thing.
I would not say blood is similar to tears or seawater.
Why not? They're both salty. Blood is salty.
Look at Scott's face. Oh, I no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, on this one, I think we probably need some more information before we act.
It's
Really.
just not a disturbing inquiry. No, not at all.
So Neil, your idea isn't a bad one. You're more or less just saying if you can't go to them, bring them to us.
They will find us if we start asking questions. That's my only current idea, but whether or not
you're choosing to put yourself in a disadvantageous position, right? Because you know that to some degree you can handle your own. You also know that the people here are rather extreme. So that being understood, that being said, what if you want to go down this path, and we can totally talk about another one as well, which Tesh might be getting to, but like what safeguards or additional aspects to that approach do you want to do? So Tesh, did you have a lateral idea before?
No, I was saying another bonus is we could actually get some useful information since we're just openly asking for it. Someone might be willing to actually give us some information.
if we buy them some drinks, we may well get lucky with the information as well.
While we're doing the baiting is what I was saying. So
yeah,
it could work twofold.
Okay.
As for what could we do to well, we have the advantage.
John, Tesh?
I was going to say we have the advantage of the fact that this is our first engagement in the city, meaning our abilities are not well known. The better we do, the less of an advantage that is.
Yeah, so I don't think we should uniform up either. While we're about. And I think taverns are they're the first line of inquiry we have. Like spending some time in different taverns, like overhearing things, like asking about things.
I hate to lean on the old aliases, but so if we're going non-uniform, so say I take off my identifying marks off my armor, and we're not in uniform, maybe the best way is to be like, yo, I'm looking to do some dealings, make some money. I heard that like these Blackguard fellows are a good group to get in with. If my name's Old Bluey. I'm the boy. I got potions and poisons.
This is where the name choice comes in like a bad, as we have Bandit, Bluey, and Magpie.
Yeah, like I hate to lean on it too much, but maybe it's like we haven't made a reputation for ourselves yet.
I'm sorry, I can definitely see like one of those like a 2-bit like hang down, like flip a coin, leaning on like an alley wall named Magpie. I could definitely see that.
I thought he was going somewhere else with that.
Remember
Neil can do that accent really well, but it's one of those like, oi, listen to old Magpie here, see? Like
I really thought he was going somewhere like the three of us are in an alleyway and we flip a coin, and Viggo like, fuck. All right, I'm Magpie again. It's the Magpie ploy. Let's go.
Also, remember, we do have previous dealings with the merchants. They were the ones who smuggled us here.
Yes, yeah. There's positive things there, which is a direct line where you can literally go up to them and be like, how about I buy some information? So on and so forth.
Yeah.
That is definitely.
But we don't want to start off with that because it's money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's totally an option. Okay, cool. So you guys at least have an idea. So you're gonna wait till this evening, and you're just gonna walk around and start spending money buying. You can't just walk into a tavern and start asking questions, not buying drinks. That's gonna be a little too conspicuous. If you walk in with your like stormtrooper gear and like your blaster rifle, and you're just like,
No, it's okay. I'm wearing stormtrooper gear, but it's got like a blood marking on the front or something, so people know that I'm part of the rebellion.
No, you're clone trooper.
Like Ewok style. Yeah.
It's all good.
Republic Commando, what a game! The armor.
Oh, I missed that game.
No.
It's your fault.
No.
All right, tavern.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
for reference. Sorry, go ahead, Tash.
No, I was just saying, do we have any ideas about how we can mitigate the impending ambush?
Oh, yeah, that's what this is in reference to. I am actually wearing my full plate armor. I've simply taken off my identifying clasps.
Yeah, I have a disguise kit, so I
I'll-
also offer to give you guys fake mustaches. Just saying.
just
I'll
like
leave-
just lift my helmet and there's just pong.
Very nice. Chat.
I'll deliberately leave my chakrams and longbow back, so the only thing I'm really wearing as far as a weapon is the bastard sword. That's
All right.
obvious.
Cool. And chat, next 5 people to roll a D100. Whoever rolls the lowest can name the tavern, as long as it's not a goofy name.
Hells yeah.
A little goof is fine, but not too goof. All right, cool. So moving on, you guys are gonna start making your way over to tavern, not too goof, and you're you're gonna be going here. I imagine like later in the day, sun's low on the horizon, a painted sky, but not quite dark out. Yeah.
Not too late. End of the working day, beginning of our working day. He's an alchemist of sussy reputation. The man has the man's called Magpie. Come on, like it's not a good reputation, is it?
You have your we'll call them disguises, if you will, on. So you're going to be able to try to reduce the likelihood of people discovering who you are. But honestly, there's really no. I think Jake maybe is using disguise kit on himself, but otherwise you guys are going to look like you. Obviously, Neil, even if you have a helmet, you're not going to walk around Mando style with it on your.
Am I not?
Piece.
Wouldn't it be pretty intimidating?
If you walk into a bar and they hand you like a pint and you're like, oi, clink, 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 clink.
No, you know what he does in Mando, just like that. He does that in.
He does.
That in
He legit does that. Yeah.
He does do that, but he's also part of like a crazy cult. You know, like.
Wait, no. What are they called? The Black Watch. Full circle, methinks. The Black Guard. It's just stay away from Star Wars. Nah, I disagree.
All right. Looks like Viking is the lowest for the people that rolled, so Viking can name it. So anyways, you two, you three go walking in there. It's because you're going, and Neil's now suggesting maybe more like a 5 p.m. and less of like a 7 p.m., right? So when you guys go walking in there, it's not particularly busy. There's, you see that the person behind the bar is doing the, was using a rag, kind of wiping the cloth clean. So you wiping the counter clean. You can see one other person is, getting tables, literally like shifted around and cleaning up from whatever busyness they did earlier in the day and getting ready for whatever business they're going to do tonight. You see there's about 6 patrons in here. 3 of them sat together, 3 of them all separated from one another inside the establishment. And you can already like smell that whatever meat they've been cooking out back has pretty much done roasting. So whatever like roast that they've been doing all day to get ready for selling tonight, probably like some sort of mutton or whatever, really gonna break up that graininess so it's not too chewy. It's like really starting to, the smells are coming from the kitchen. So it's that moment where you guys come walking in and you're like, all right, look at each other. That silent head nod that's so obvious to everybody around you. Jake's false mustache falls off. He scrambles, steps on it by accident, picks it up, puts it on his back on his face. One side's clean, the other one's bushy. You guys make your way over to sit at a table or what have you. How do you want to approach this? Now, obviously, we can literally just roll a diplomacy check. That's not a big deal. But how do you want to approach this conversation?
Just as a side thing to the conversation, I would like to pay attention to the sort of people that perk up when we start mentioning Black Knights and people who abruptly decide to leave once we've started questioning, stuff like that.
Sure. Definitely, I'll keep an eye on that one for you, or have you keep an eye on that one. Boys, the man has spoken. It's your turn now.
It's funny that you should mention that. I'd like to do the Mando tactic. Whoever Jake goes and talks to, I'd like to stand next to them with my arms crossed, silently with the helm down.
So he goes up
just
to somebody.
occasionally lean in with some heavy breathing. Just.
But the funny thing is, Viggo's actually kind of charming. So he goes over and he's like, I just wanted to sit down and tell you that I could notice your perfume from across the room. And I was wondering, and all of a sudden you just misunderstand the scenario and you're breathing heavily.
We're good cop, bad. This is indicative of the fact that he has money, right? Because he can hire a guard in full plate armor.
Yeah. He's like, I like your perfume. Well, he's got money at least. All right. Anyways, so you want to play good cop, bad cop? You're gonna be intimidate boy.
I would like to play bad cop.
Okay. Not a problem.
Before we even go there, if this is coming down to me, which I'm actually thinking more and more that, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do a lot of this. What's our tactic? What do you want me to do?
We could try and arrange a meet, maybe.
But
like
you have
business.
you're an alchemist of some renown. However, you like to keep that renown within certain circles. And you happen to have certain items, potions, poisons, perhaps even some might call them, which might be of use to a group of individuals with such scruples, fighting for the good of people, yet also with a hefty sum of gold, of course.
We value anonymity.
Might be useful for these sorts of individuals, and so you've made some inquiries, being a man of those sorts of circles, and you believe the business might be available for someone such as yourself with this group in particular. However, you're not from this neck of the woods, and so your contacts here are very limited. So getting in contact is very difficult. So you're having to do it the old-fashioned way. Don't mind the guard, by the way. just ignore it.
Scott, don't make exactly how the conversation went.
Don't make eye contact.
No need to repeat it. That is exactly how it went.
If you want to copy paste,
that was a good plan, Jake.
You're gonna have to say it yourself. Your own words.
Okay, I'll just get back.
No, it's fine. Just don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. It's fine.
He's like, play, listens to 4 words, repeats them, pause. Play, listens to 4 words, pause, repeat them. All right.
Yep, that's it. Well, what do I have to help?
I wanted Jake to repeat what I said. But it's just Jar Jar Binks. Because he can only remember.
He's so happy to see you.
He can only remember so much of it. He's just like, it is with muy responsibility.
This is why you don't skip weeks, boys.
The right people to talk to.
This is the curse of Star Wars. Some might say the Revenge of the Sith.
How many people are in the tavern?
6 plus 2 employees and whoever's in the kitchen.
All right, and who are we talking to?
You have not said if you wanted to approach an individual or the group of 3.
Well, actually, first things first, I think it's best to just listen first rather than walk straight up to them. Maybe try and eavesdrop.
Figure out what each group's
see what
about.
they're
Have a drink while we heavy breathe in your ear.
So the 3 of you, are going to go and grab your own table. And then more or less just order beverages and sit there and be like, oi, oi. But otherwise be quiet and listen to the conversations around you.
Yep. We'll make small talk and stuff like that, but listening first, I think, getting an idea of who these people are is the best bet.
All right, so why don't you guys go ahead and roll me your perception checks then? Or sense motive if you prefer that.
How about I prefer neither of these?
Damn.
I'd like to point out I rolled exactly the same as Viggo.
There's a bit of a difference.
I don't see a difference. Nope. Guys all did great.
Thanks, man.
All did fantastic.
Thank
Right.
you. I appreciate that. That's 3 passes, guys. Confirmed. If he lies, Elmo gonna sue.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So you
I was not paying attention, and that just hit me.
All right, so you you guys are listening to the conversations and whatnot that they're having there, right? And you come to the realization that the 2 people sitting at the bar by themselves don't really say anything. One of them literally reorders another drink non-verbally. The third person sitting by themselves finishes the beverage that they had in front of them while you were coming in the door. And by the time, like 5 minutes or so from their leaving, they drop some coin on their table and they get up and they walk out the door. I'll get to that in a second. The other 3 people that are there, they're all being pretty quiet like yourselves. The occasional conversation, like it's one of those things that they're all nursing their drinks and they seem quiet, but they also have the look to them like they're just tired. Like you said, it's the time that people just get off of work. And sometimes you just get off of work, you just leave me the fuck alone. So they very much have that look of just 3 people that probably work together, or at least know each other and have a ritual of coming here, getting off of work, and are just trying to relax for a minute. They certainly look like dock hands. At one point in time, one of them looks up to the other and says, "Hey, how's Claudia doing? She get that thing looked at?" Nah, she ain't going. But that's like, yeah, listen, yeah. And then it gets quiet again for a while. Like, it's one of those, like, just 3 guys getting off of work. The actual bartender themselves, the one that's over there, you pick up the name just because they happen to be, it's said by the person walking around at the tables. Their name is Damo. And so you're able to kind of pick that up. But the only real thing that's here right now, as you guys are just sitting there with the original 6 people, is that catches your eye. Specifically, is the coin that you saw left on the table from the person that got up and walked out. The coin that you saw that was there was definitely of a mint that you're not familiar with. Well, maybe you're not familiar with. Specifically, Viggo. Why don't you go ahead and roll for me a knowledge local check, please?
So it turns out we have the entirely wrong currency for the region.
No, it's fine. It's actually Daelish coin that you see that's left behind. Now, one of the reasons why this matters is coin is coin for the most part in the campaign. Not because I think that it should be that way, but because management of different types of coin across different countries is a pain in the dick for PCs. Almost no PC enjoys that kind of gameplay. Some do, and they're a very special few. And if you're the kind of person, come find me. You found me. But for the most part, nobody wants to do that. People get angry when they have to keep track of weight on their character sheet. They carry like 3,000 pounds and don't understand why they can't walk. But what you do know is that Daelish coin has a diminished value here. Diminished value because not because necessarily the quality of gold, the amount of gold or whatever it is that might be in the coin, or the silver, or the materials that might be in the coin, but diminished value because when you're doing a trade or exchange or whatnot with any shop that's directly controlled by Paradel, then it has diminished value by their order. And obviously they're doing that for a reason. And so, yeah, between like merchant to merchant to merchant to merchant that just might be locals, they might not care. But like if I'm taking coin from my patrons, but then I turn around with that coin and I try to buy stuff to fill my shop, but it has a diminished value, then it's going to negatively impact my willingness to take that coin. Either way, you see that coin is left there, and they get up and they walk out of the establishment. That being said, the person that goes over, kind of cleans up that table area and whatnot, collects the coin, and as they're picking it up is when you see it, and two other people come in and they go over and they sit down. These two, however, are very different from the others. They are laughing and joking. It's definitely like that beginning of the nighttime activities person coming in, people coming in. They're laughing and joking and just kind of like talking about their overall day and whatnot, but like a boisterous way. Nothing that really jumps out at you. That's all you get for like the first hour or so of sitting there. Do you guys do anything else or want to say anything to each other at this point before you go to the next step?
Most important question: what language are they speaking?
So it's because Paradel took over this region 100 years ago or 80 something years ago. Most people speak Perrin. Remember, Perrin is the common of this continent. So most people speak Perrin, and so people here do speak Perrin. There might be like the occasional like word, phrase, or half sentence or whatever it is said in Dalish. Just like if you were to be hanging out with friends of yours that are multilingual, they might slip back and forth between languages. Certainly, I have like family and friends that speak
idiom
Spanglish,
or a
right?
saying or something.
What?
An idiom or a saying or something.
Yeah. Things like that. But I either way. So, like again, you imagine just kind of like slipping back and forth between it, but that's more of a local commonality as opposed to an associative thing, right? So if your character only spoke Perrin, you still know a couple of phrases in Dalish if you live in this region, right?
Yeah. There's no conversations just in Dalish then. Is very much like practically Paradel, like you said.
Correct. And because it's been 80 years, and 80 years of occupation is a long time. I mean, ask Hawaii. It's not even been 80 years yet. So. Oh, I'm sorry. They chose to be a state. Sorry.
Say.
My camera keeps.
Right, so these people that have come in are more boisterous, like they're enjoying themselves compared to the other people.
Yeah. These are just like, it's more or less like if Neil and Dean were to meet at a pub. You could like, oi,
Hello, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, mate. How's it going? Lovely.
I'm gonna throw me back quite a few points, eh?
We don't say that.
I don't know. I don't know what words you say. I messaged Dean recently on Twitter, and I miss Dean. He's a good boy.
Dean is a good boy.
But moving on.
Right, so I think we should probably approach them. I think it's the easier.
Yeah, you could walk up to them and start speaking
options.
if you want to choose to them. You can continue to sit there and listen for a while longer as the night transitions. It's up to you, boys.
What do you guys think? You want to sit and listen more, or should we talk to these people?
What I'm gonna say.
Depends on how heavily are they drinking.
You're the boss, Jake.
Fuck off me.
The ones that just got off of work, the three that were pretty quiet, Tesh, for a casual drinker, you'd be like, wow, these boys are on a mission. But if you were a person that lived that lifestyle, you'd be like, no, they're just relaxing after work. You know what I mean?
What about the group that just came in?
They literally just ordered their drinks. You know what I mean? And they.
Oh yeah. So I. Yeah,
Like
I
a
don't
couple
know
minutes,
how
they slam
heavily
down their
they're
first drink in
drinking,
maybe like 10 minutes and they already get their second drink going. But, for them, it's definitely the early part of a fun night. So.
Perfect. All right, let's buy him another round and head on over to the table.
yeah.
So you guys just gotta kind of like get around and you and Neil, I mean.
I'm deliberately sort of staying back so I can watch and see who's perking up at information and stuff like that.
Okay. So, Jake, how do you
Yep.
buy the rounds? Do you walk up to the bar and order a couple drinks, or how do you do this?
Yeah, I'll just walk up to the bar and say, however many of them there are, just
2.
like whatever they had. You know what I mean? So 2 of what they had, and actually make it 4.
Okay.
Me and Neil have to walk over with something, of course.
Cool. So, you get 4 drinks. I imagine, each of you carry in 2. Do you do the whole, sit down, both of you sit down, or are you standing, or you gonna talk before you sit? Like,
I'm gonna walk over and I'm just gonna slap the drinks down on the table and go, finally, someone's having a good time here. Thought I was at the wrong place.
Diplomacy check. Natty 1. All right. So they look up at you, and obviously you're not dressed like an officer at the moment, but you come over. You're young, fun, and flirty, and so you come over and slap down the beers and deliver your line. And it's like a moment of confusion when like you walk over, they like one of them notices you walk over, and he kind of nudges the other as you're like getting up to the table. And you slap down, deliver your line, and one of them kind of looks like confused for the second, and the other one you can just see like a shit-eating grin, like, right, it's happening tonight, boys, kind of like a situation, and he's like, well, have a seat then.
Yeah, I'll sit down. I'll look over at which one's Neil?
Tristan.
Is it no? Is it Bandit or
Oh,
Bluey?
I'm Bluey.
Bluey.
I'm Bandit.
Do you sit?
Yeah, he'll sit down, but he won't like lift his helmet or anything or say anything. He'll just sit down when you sit down.
He sits down, the chair creaks beneath him.
Viggo goes, oh, here, lads, and he pushes over the pints, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just says, yeah, for a minute I thought I was in the wrong place. It was so quiet before you come in. Is everywhere around here a bit like that at this time?
They kind of like look at each other for a second, and you can see that they're like weighing it out. One of them kind of like gives a bit of nod, and he looks back and he was like, honestly, don't really know this place. Ain't really been around Melisel before. It's new here.
New here? Oh, so am I. They call me Magpie. And he gestures at Tris and says, and that's Bluey.
One of them goes...
raise his undrunk beer, and that's it.
Yeah. One of them will say, Bluey looks like he's going to war. Kind of looks over, and kind of like giving like a side, like, what the hell's under that helmet?
Yes, well, I need him ready. I'm an alchemist, you see. I sell things, potions and the like. Now you got to have security. You never know what these new towns are like.
Same one looks at you and goes, security? Does that mean you carrying a good bit of coin on you?
He looks over at
Chris will slam the drink down on the table.
Yeah.
And just stare at the guy until the question dies.
I've got enough for a good night.
Yeah. So you say that I've got enough for a good night, and as one of them, like a little bit of a recoil, one of them goes to respond. The person that was walking around cleaning the tables beforehand, he comes over and just stands at the table and goes, "Hey, if you're gonna slam the drinks around, you need like a rag or something to clean up after yourselves." And they throw something on the table. Stop making such a mess. And then they turn and walk off, shaking their head.
Just will wipe up like dutifully, like cleans up nicely, folds the rag.
Viggo rolls his eyes and kind of like gestures at the guy that, just told them to clean up at themselves.
So
where are you guys from?
You say so. Where are you guys from? There's like a little bit of a pause. Like his hesitance.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I wait awkwardly for them to respond.
So after a nice long pause there, finally one of them sighs and says, north.
North of here is what? The Dalelands?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're from the Dalelands? he'll say it in Dalish.
You say it in Dalish, and one of them just immediately gets very rigid, like, oh no, and the other one switches to Dalish as well, and with perfectly fluent Dalish accent goes, hey, don't go getting us in trouble. We don't need any problem around here.
I'll just say you're with me. I'm a merchant. I travel everywhere. I've never had any trouble.
Again, responding in Dalish, like, yeah, maybe you haven't, but listen, it's kind of a special, trip for us. You see, my boy here, and he's like hand on the shoulder, he's getting himself locked down when he gets back home. So this is supposed to be, his time away to sow the fields or whatever they say before things are all over. And you're sitting there like, that's not the phrase.
Hey, in the Downlands, it might be. That might be the phrasing they use.
Yeah, fair enough.
You getting married, so you're down here to let loose. Well, we're gonna be in for quite the night then, aren't we?
He nods. He's like, absolutely. We've already found someone, and she's fantastic. I mean, she's actually the one that told us to meet her here. She's like, she told us the Sturge's Perch is where it could be at, but it takes a little bit to get a little rowdy. Can you believe it? My boy here, he's never punched somebody in the face before. Now, how are you gonna go about a life of defending your lady's honor if you can't even punch somebody in the face? And then he
got to change that tonight then.
Yeah, the guy who's like Ben got rigid and quiet and whatnot. He then looks back at him and says in Perrin, and he has a fine accent, like one that does not seem dissimilar from the people around here. He responds in Perrin saying, "Hey, at least I don't have more punches in the face than punches I've given." And the guy's like, "Hey. There was that one
they're
fight."
gonna get a ooh from Viggo. All right. We gotta feed into this.
He's like, there was that
up the atmosphere, all right?
That one fight. He's like, that wasn't one fight. He's like, you got your ass beat by the same person many times. He's like, you could say the one person, and then there's like a little bit of squabbling back and forth. But anyways, back to you guys. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Well, realistically, knowing what's going on, at some point when they get up to get a beer or something, Viggo will lean into Triss and say, I'm going to have a big night with these guys.
Oh, to be clear,
I'm gonna need
they won't get up to get a beer. It's one boy's weekend. His buddy's going to go and get the beers and whatnot. He's going to get the royal treatment, if you will.
All right, well, I'll go to get beers for everyone then.
Okay, yeah.
And then he'll just say, let's see how this goes. I might I'm gonna rely on you and Gallon tonight. I'm gonna try and learn as much as I can, but I have to keep a cover here. He says with a smirk.
Try not to have too much fun.
Of course. He says while he's then just downs one, gets another.
Makes you think.
All right, so how this is going to go is it's going to be a lot of small talk and stuff till these guys are like smashed.
So something's going to happen prior to them being smashed.
Yep.
Fun fact with your little thing there, it makes you think of those police officers in California that by law they were allowed to sleep with prostitutes to confirm that they were prostitutes before they arrested them for being prostitutes. And there was one situation where 17 officers all slept with the same prostitute in 48 hours, sometime around somebody's bachelor party, just to confirm that she was a real prostitute before they arrested her for it. And it's just like, I can imagine that's how those cops' conversations went. Be like, well, got to do some work here tonight, boys. So, yeah,
we're gonna have to take one for the team.
That is a really fucked up law.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, there are many different bad laws, but either way. Moving on. So you would while you are having that conversation, you guys having that chat or whatever over there, or at some point in time during the gaps, you guys are having drinks. The guy that kind of threw the rag at you a little bit later, and mind you, a couple more people ended up coming in, comes over and literally plops themselves in front of Gallon, who clearly is nursing their drink. Like, Gallon is not a heavy drinker to begin with, and then also
sorry,
is
I
here
missed
for a reason.
who came and sat down in front of
The
me.
person that isn't
server.
It's like the server, more or less, the waiter server.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of comes over, the bar wench or bar lad. He comes over and plops himself at your table. It just kind of like gives you like a full-on stare in the face. Doesn't say anything.
Can I help you?
I was wondering the same question. So since we're on that topic, you've had one drink. You've been here for over an hour. And your friend suddenly got up and sat somewhere else. So either you ate something that turned your stomach and they don't want to be near you anymore, or there's some weird shit happening right now. And with how much weird shit happens all the time, I don't want that here. I don't want to clean up blood. And I certainly don't want any of the fucking people coming around and cracking down on this place because you're doing weird shit. So what the fuck are you doing? Why are you sitting here alone? Why are they randomly talking to those idiots?
I'm not that big of a
Dude,
drinker,
this is a
as you can
tavern, man.
Yep.
Has this guy not seen people mingle before?
Absolutely see people mingle.
tell. I just-
Why
I'm not
are
just
those
not as
people
big a
talking to
drinker as
those
them.
people over
They
there?
want to go party. I'm just minding my business.
Uh-huh. So you're going to be ordering anything else? Or you're just going to nurse that one drink?
You got food?
Yeah.
Well, I'll order food.
It's a pretty big table. There's going to be other people wanting to sit here.
Okay, I'll hand him. Where's my money? How much would like a group of people spend drinking for a very short period of time?
Honestly, it's one of those things where you have to remember D&D. The prices are weird.
I know,
If you drop a
so,
gold
like-
coin, that's a large amount of money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a few
okay,
gold is
I'll-
like a ridiculous amount of money. So
I'll drop him 2 gold.
Okay.
I'll just fine.
okay, and he will say, he'll say, that'll work for now. I'll let you know if things are getting weird again. And he
Please do.
and
And then I'll make it look like Gallon's going to like just relax. Like this is his I'm alone time sort of thing.
get up and walk away. So they go over. They can see.
Why is everyone panicking about the 2 gold?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's like the black dot you've given him the 2 gold.
The black dot. God, I haven't seen that movie in a very long time since I was like early teens. Anyways, so you so yeah, you see that this person will go over and speak to Demo just to get the like you can clearly see that they have a bit of a conversation. Demo looks over at you as they're finishing up their conversation, and he kind of just like he nods, and then the person goes out back, eventually gets you food, and comes on over and puts the food down in front of you. And just so you know, it's mutton stew, so that's it's delicious. So anyways, back to you guys. Jake, time 1 hour later. Why don't you go ahead and roll me another diplomacy check as you're schmoozing. Neil, you are drinking or not drinking?
He's not drinking.
You're going to impose a penalty, but it doesn't matter because he rolled disgustingly high on his diplomacy check anyways. Because you're just awkwardly sitting there. And it's kind of like harshing the buzz. You know what I mean?
What do you
It's
mean?
almost like-
He's like moving his mug about like his tankard. He just like moves it occasionally, lifts it up occasionally.
So
can't tell.
imagine if Neil and Dean go out to a pub to have a beverage.
And Scott's there.
And Scott comes up and is like, "Hey, let's hang out," but we don't know each other, so let's do somebody else.
No.
But they bring like a soldier carrying a rifle with them as they walk out. You know what I mean? like we're gonna have such fun. And it's a bugging soldier.
So this is America, yeah. No, this is like Scott comes over and like Dean and I are just trying to have a pint, and he's like, "Oh, so is that an Imperial pint or a British pint, mate?" And we're like, "Oh, come on, Scott. Like, just leave it for once. We're just trying to have a drink."
Have you tried watching Ted Lasso yet?
No.
Oh, gotta watch it, Neil.
My list.
I don't watch stand-up comedians.
It's not what?
I don't watch comedians.
It's a TV show. It's a show about an American football coach going to coach soccer in England.
Have you told me about this?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It's
You're gonna have to find evidence.
Do you know who Jason Sudeikis is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's written, directed, and starred by Jason Sudeikis, who's really
you'll
funny.
know soon enough.
Yeah.
Why is that like so leery?
All right.
I know. I apparently doomed us all.
So continuing on, the you guys are sitting there and having a good time, Jake. Eventually, you could see that another guy comes in, and he walks in, and he looks a little confused as he looks around. And then one of the guys is like, "Hey, over here!" They come over, they sit down, and you realize it's literally somebody that they were chatting with earlier at like a shop that they were at, and like, "Tonight's gonna be the night, boy." And the guy was like, "I guess I could come hang out. I don't know." And they're thinking to themselves, like, "I'll go and get a pint. If it's weird, I'll just leave," But then they come in, and there's actually already 2 other people with them, and they're like, "Actually, this doesn't look so bad. This is dude in armor. This could be funny." And so they come over, they sit down, they ease into it, and then like, now it's legitimately becoming a party, right? Like 5 is where a party starts.
This is perfect because, like, if they've just gone and recruited random people, we've got like a nice selection of people in this party.
Yeah, and the big thing is that this person that you're speaking to, they happen to be just like a nearby, again, another dock worker, younger. So that's why they were like, I liked the idea of having fun or whatever, a little bit more adventurous than some crotchety old crane. And you, but they're local is a big thing, and that's like what you guys are hoping for. And then a little bit later on, that person ends up going out to like, take a piss or whatever it is, and they come back and they're like, "Look who I found!" And they bring in like a friend of theirs, bringing your group.
It's Gary. Everyone knows Gary, right? It's Gary, guys.
I go by Garen now. Sorry, my older brother's name is Gary, but his birth name is Garen, and at some point in time, he transitioned from Gary to Garen. And
that's a real name?
Garon, Garen.
I thought that was a League of Legends character. That's a real name?
Yeah. My older brother and my father's name are Garen. Yeah.
Does your older brother enjoy spinning?
Wait, what do you... You mean like...
it's a lame League of Legends joke.
His character's like main ability is to spin on the spot with his sword, like a fucking Beyblade.
He used to play football, but he also learns the whole choreographed dance to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. So like when we were kids, when he was a teenager, he was full on like 1-arm handstand upside down doing like the Bye Bye Bye. Like he could do the whole dance because he used to frost his tips.
That's quite dedicated, Dan.
Yeah.
Goddamn frosted tips.
He's 39. He's frosted. Yeah. Anyways, moving on from his embarrassment.
I just want to point out how right Viking is. This was an Australian pub, and someone come into a group of people and like, "Look, I found Gary," and no one knew who it was. Everyone at the table would just yell, "Gaza!"
That's legitimately what I thought. The second I saw that in chat, I was like, "Yeah, that's about right."
All right, so
Aussies are weird.
We're remarkably simple. It's just so simple, it's deceptive.
So back to the game. So you guys are sitting there having fun, so on and so forth, and other people are filtering into the pub as well. So you're having your fun. Tesh is here, however, actually trying to stay alert. A couple hours end up passing. Now we're, like I said, you came out at like 5 o'clock. That first hour was crickets, crickets, crickets. Then the second, now the third hour have passed, getting you to about 8 o'clock at night. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to know, I would be like drinking my drink, but I would be making sure that it's at a pace that I know I'm not going to get affected, just to make sure I'm still buying drinks, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the average body metastasizes an alcoholic beverage an
Not
hour.
metastasize. That's very
Metabolize.
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 I was going to say, I'm like, that's not right.
Metabolizes.
Oh, boy.
Metabolizes. Thank you. An alcoholic beverage an hour. A pint is like 1.5 beverages. So you can imagine if you have like about a pint an hour, it would take you a very long time to get properly tipsy or drunk, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just make sure you're drinking water as well. Either way.
Honestly, he probably would be ordering water as well, and that would go down a lot quicker.
I'm going to have you roll me a perception check, and if you roll well, I'll also have you rolling me a sense motive check.
Oh, hells yeah, do it. Go, Tesh. Don't fail us.
Why did you go? Oh, never mind. Scott's that well enough?
Yeah! Yes, as well. Very well.
Oh, I'm going to luck that.
I mean, 15 isn't bad.
Yeah, but
it's not bad, but I want better.
As high as he can get.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
17 plus with we have 3 dice left. Nice. So 17 sense motive.
Beautiful. All right. So listening to the place, there are a lot of voices as other people are filtering in. The place is getting fuller. By 8 o'clock, so by that third hour coming round, the place is pretty full. There's a couple open seats here and there, but there's also a couple people that are choosing to stand rather than sit. If every ass was in a chair, you'd imagine there may be 2 or 3 seats open left, but otherwise the place is pretty full, right? At some point in time, it wasn't until it started getting busy, which is counterintuitive maybe to what you would expect, that that another person ends up coming on to work as well. So you have behind the bar, you have the same person working, pouring drinks, taking care of the bar over there. You have 2 people out on the floor that are kind of taking care of the different patrons or whatever. The second person taking care of patrons coming on, she goes over and she ends up setting something up on the wall that has like a whole bunch of cork in it. The cork has a whole bunch of notches and whatnot, and she puts out a little box that hangs on the wall as well, opens it up, and you see a ton of throwing daggers and stuff like that that's over there. So a whole bunch of projectiles, or throwing pieces, I should say, over there for you to start throwing. You can see when that happens, the clear locals, like the ones that know the place pretty well, they literally all just like get up in unison and pick up a table and start moving it to the side so they're not too close to it, right? You see the others that are like near to it as well, watching them do that, also like, yeah, we should. And they get up and they go to move their table, end up knocking half their drinks over, which causes this whole like mess of a situation, so on and so forth. But the reason why I'm describing all this is not because there's a bit of excitement and whatnot happening. It's as those drinks knock over, it clearly gets the attention of almost everybody in the establishment. You can imagine even Viggo's over there like, oh, look at these cocksuckers, like...
Taxi. Sorry.
So you can definitely notice that this sort of thing's happening. But then you also notice the group of 3 people in the corner that it doesn't faze them in the least bit. They've been having a kind of intense conversation for a while, but they weren't the only ones. When this takes place, that's when you notice that they are continuing to have their intense conversation, seemingly unhindered by like the whole bar kind of like getting loud and jokes being thrown and insults and someone else coming over, the one that threw the rag at Viggo earlier, the group earlier, coming over and just like flipping their shit. You can kind of see that while they're still maintaining an intense conversation. And that's when you finally go like, I got my spot. Zero in on that right there. And so you really start, after that kind of like goes on and people are getting over to do their kind of like continuing on with the conversations, quiets down a little bit, if you will, that you're kind of like focusing on what they're talking about. And you definitely are getting the understanding that this is not meant to be a conversation that's meant to be overheard. Sorry, I was just pulling up my list of peoples again. My apologies.
That's okay.
Don't forget, Tess, you do have potions and things if you want to utilize things.
Yes, yes.
There's there's what is it? The conversation that you're having that's going that's having there. You can see that the way that the three of them are discussing, there's definitely, like I said, like a bit of an uncouth conversation. But you kept hearing the conversation about like docks, about shipment, about literally waiting for next rule, so on and so forth. At one point in time, you actually literally see, before one of them gets up and leaves, he does some sort of strange gesture that you notice, and says something, but he says something in Daelish. And then he gets up and goes to leave. And the other two go back to their drinks, and the way that their other two are positioned, one of them kind of like turns in such a way that they have their back fully to you. But that does mean that the other one opposite them, depending on how they're leaning at the time or how you're leaning at the time, they're more or less fully covered from your view or fully into your view if you happen to be looking up in that direction. But you're also trying to be discreet, right?
Yeah. So definitely what I would be having is Virgil would be relaying the information to the other two, that this group in the corner.
I don't know how much information you want to relay to Jake. He needs to stay in full mindset.
That's right. Okay, I'll relay it to Tristan then. The group in the corner.
Please. I'm in character. It's Bluey.
Bluey is I'll be relaying to Bluey that this group in the corner were having an intense conversation that wasn't tripped up like the rest of the tavern was when commotions were happening, and they were mentioning shipments. Well, it was shipments. Fuck, I've already forgot the other things that were said.
So
Galen is smarter than I am.
yeah. So you heard stuff about docks, something about shipments, and something about awaiting for the next command. You saw a strange gesture that you're not familiar with, and you heard them say a phrase in Daelish that you're not familiar. I don't even think you speak Daelish.
Yeah, I would be relaying that. The one that left was the one that did the phrase in I assume Daelish, because he would only be able to assume before he left. That's all being relayed to him. Then so just if you want to relay that, basically it's on you for what happens next. Whether we bring Viggo in on this, get him to try and incorporate this group into the drinking group or whatever.
That's to you, Neil.
As this is going on in Bluey's head,
can you respond?
Let me check telepathic speech.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. And what were you saying, Jake?
So as he's saying that to Bluey, you probably hear Viggo just yell, "Oi, you should give that a try." And he points at the chick with the throwing weapons.
Oh yeah. So the guy that's got to do is the guy whose party it is.
Yeah.
You notice that others, again locals, already getting up and going over there to take the spot. You know what I mean? Because they knew it was coming. They're excited. They do it all the time, so on and so forth. But you can they definitely almost like put your name on a list, if you will.
Yeah, we do. We're enjoying ourselves, and we're gonna do whatever they have for entertainment here.
Okay. All right.
So the exact wording is can communicate telepathically with any creature that has a language within 30 feet.
Can they? So if it's communicate, it sounds like back and forward, because yours is.
Yeah, it says communicate. Yeah. That's the exact wording under telepathic speech.
Okay. So that means you can respond, Neil.
Tris would say this throwing game might be a good way to get into their conversation. See how it goes.
Sounds good. And then I'll keep an eye on these two. I'll continue my relaxing drink.
Okay.
Unless you were saying he wanted me to go do the throwing game. I don't know what.
No. I need these really drunk people to be throwing this.
Yes, actually, that's a good point.
Okay, cool.
I like this a lot.
So
Like
then,
this atrociously drunk man who's never punched someone before, who probably lacks hand-eye coordination to throw a sharp object at these potential gangsters.
Oh yes.
so you guys are another like almost hour or so passes. It's getting close to 9 o'clock at night or whatever. When obviously
How
you're listening
drunk
to
are we?
That I imagine you were getting pretty toasty.
And this is like what,
I'm
3
talking
or
about
4
the
hours
whole
of
group. Yeah,
drinking.
so we're
Neil's maybe on beer too. So
Yes,
you know what I mean?
but I'm talking about the group that I'm.
Oh, you guys are
actively
pretty
drinking
toasty.
with. Okay, good.
Absolutely. So that being said, as you guys are getting pretty toasty, so on and so forth, eventually, it's about that time where like you guys aren't up at the throwing game yet, but you're almost there. And again, Tesh was during this point in time. Was having was like listening to that conversation that was there, kind of like shared it and continuing to watch them. Tesh, you don't get anything else of interest yet, but you do, again, we have a sense of motive here. It does seem like they're staying here for a reason. They might be waiting to meet with somebody else or so on and so forth, or maybe this is just their spot, but like they definitely are giving no inclination of moving anytime soon. So that,
Okay,
but they're also not showing that they're going to be drinking heavily. They're drinking, so if they maintain this pace for several hours, they're going to be pretty fucking low. But so they're actually drinking, but they're not like very light, very heavy, right? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Moving on. You are all of a sudden, it definitely catches your eye first, Tesh. The door opens up and another patron walks in. It's one of those things where, another patron walks in, these two are having fun. At some point in time, Neil, of course, looks over there, but you're the one that's kind of on high alert. I almost imagine you look like an owl.
Watching
everything as it happens.
Like, you know how when you're on your own, you people watch while you're drinking? That's more what he's looking like. It's trying to make himself look non-conspicuous.
I people watch all the time. I can't help myself, regardless of drinking. I'm just like...
Yeah,
and then I'm like, damn it, I'm staring at this person.
I'm trying to make him look like this is his like relaxing time, which is why he's paying for the whole like booth thing.
So you see a young female attractive woman come walking in. I mean, you've seen a couple of them come and go throughout the night. That's not what stands out to you. A female that looks very familiar to you walks in. It takes you a moment. You're like,
oh, hell no.
I know her.
Please.
You're like, I know her. And then you realize, oh, shit.
Oh.
I saw her in not in
Redislav. No, not that
Redislav.
one.
No.
I knew
Are
it.
you kidding me?
As soon as he said you know her, I was like,
Just immediately, he has in his head is, oh shit.
Good thing Viggo's got a disguise on.
Hello, madam. Perhaps you've seen my fine mustache. As you can see, it's taken me many years to grow this. There could be no possibility that this would be anything but a natural enhancement to my...
Oh, I look like someone else. Well, I get that a lot.
Oh.
You would get a little more than oh shit. You get doorway. It's and then do I have her name written down in notes? Because I can't remember it.
Yeah, you should probably find it. One that Viggo liked. Because he likes
the thing
traitors.
is, I may have literally written it down like that. I gotta
comes
find.
up.
No, that's the wrong one.
You like it and you don't.
Would you care for a souvenir?
just like who puts hand on their hand and like walks off, and like they look down, it's just the mustache.
I didn't put a name in, unless it's Litan, but I can't remember who that was. But I don't think that's it.
It's not Lee Tan.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
This is where
that's the only
the
name
mustache
that's
comes
anywhere
off, and then
near.
Viggo offers to like draw mustaches on them. So he's got like a makeup kit, so he just like draws those mustaches that like curl.
Yeah, she's
Really
like,
bad.
She like walks over, like, wait, that voice. Do I know you guys? And all three of them like turn around. They've all got bad fake mustaches drawn up. God.
Oi, fucking vey.
I'm gonna be right back. One sec while Scott finds this.
Well, Scott finds his
Yeah, no, I haven't got any other names written around the place where I wrote down the stuff we did in the library. Because I remember the library stuff, but I can't find any name that I put down for them. Anyway, I would have. Would I
You know what's
remember the name?
fantastic? I'm pretty sure we're using the same names as she met us with as well.
Yep.
Yeah, which
Yep.
is so lucky. Which is so lucky.
Good. And we never admitted to being military or anything either.
No, she does. I will say she does know that we're military because we had. She saw us having the meeting with the guy in full military stuff
I don't think
in the stables.
Mm-hmm.
That she was mysteriously having a date with. Like she's as suspicious as us at the fact that she's here. Like
Yep.
this is an oh shit moment for her as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. It's one of those things where it's like fancy meeting you lot. It's like one of those James Bond plots. We're like,
Exactly. Yeah. Hang on. Hold up.
all right, cool.
What was her name? Because I would put it in here as well.
No, Joey,
the
I'm,
journalist.
Joey, I'm good. Don't worry about it. So anyways, her name's Pan.
Pan. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say, oh shit, Pan, the girl from Rennett's, the lady from Rennett's Lab, the library, and others is here.
Yeah. You're saying, oh shit, I imagine he's already knows he's already looking at her. So she
Yeah,
looks
it's just
around,
like-
and it's like as the guys are gonna, as a couple of moments, she looks around, she hears some rowdiness. She looks over and she sees the group, and then she'll kind of give a bit of a wave, hey, and so they jump up and get excited that she's there, and the two of you look over and you see her and you're like,
No.
she's finally.
She's the fucking woman that he was talking about.
You know Karen?
She's a gem. She's a gem, hands down. She's a
She
gem.
has to be, yeah. But I love that we just keep
Or jewel,
fucking up
whatever
each
they're
other's-
called.
Yeah, we keep fucking up each other's like missions.
So she comes over, and there's like a moment where she gives like a very warm hug to the two boys, and thanks them for the invitation. And she's like, I thought I was gonna have to bring the entertainment, but it seems as though you boys were certainly able to drum it up on your own. And then she kind of like looks around the table to take in who's there, and she's like, introduce me to your friends, looking full on at Viggo. Oh, sorry. That's me. That's my cue.
I was about to say, I assume they're the ones she's talking to.
Oh, that's glorious. Please, someone clip that. Just like, please introduce me to your friends. And then Scott waiting for himself to speak, like, come on.
You know what? I need more coffee for this situation.
I haven't had coffee yet. Oh. So, introduce you to your friends. They're like, oh, all right, yeah. And then start like pointing out the different people. And actually, funny enough, Viggo is not the first one that they introduced, or I should say Magpie is not the first one they introduced. They start just kind of like pointing out names based off how they can, as far as you can tell, Neil, because he's drunk, based off of how he can remember the names. And then he's like, and this one here is Maggie. And it's like, Maggie! And so, you know, so on and so forth. And so she like gives like smiles and whatnot to each individual person. And she'll actually look you fully in the face and say, pleasure to meet you, Magpie. And he's like, yeah, that's it, Magpie. And she kind of gives like a side smile and says, Maggie's a common nickname for Magpie where I'm from. But like, it's like a side smile to him, but doesn't break eye contact with you.
Yeah, Viggo sits there dumbfounded for a minute, like a good minute.
This is the worst.
And it's
like,
at this
Viggo
point
being
in his
drunk
head.
for this.
At this point in his head, he goes, "I'll be back," and he stands up. He walks over to the bar, rummages around his bag, and then he takes this.
Hold on, before you take that,
Yeah.
I have to roll something.
Mhm.
Hold on. Do nothing. Roll me a
it's
sleight
low.
of hands, because clearly you're trying to be discreet.
You got this, I believe.
I'm not being that discreet, but
Oh,
Yeah.
you have a penalty. Sorry, take a -4 because you're tipsy as a motherfucker.
what am I doing again? A sleight of hand?
You're drinking a potion, aren't you?
No.
Oh, what are you doing?
I am taking an extract of those.
Yeah,
so
so
same
same thing. Yeah. So yeah. Roll me a sleight of hand with -4.
This.
Oh, that's sense motive. That's not the right one at all.
Nope.
-4, sleight of hand. That's
I want
not good.
to add a whole section of notes for this lady now. She keeps popping up.
There you go.
Ooh. The as you go to pull the thing out and you're getting ready to uncork it and whatnot, like you're literally in the middle of uncorking it.
It's like a size of a pill.
Yeah, whatever it would be, the extract that you're doing. The bartender that's over there, because you went over to the bar, is like, hey. Nah, we don't mess with shit here. We don't need problems. They're literally walking over to you saying this.
As he's saying this, I'm taking it.
Okay, so you're taking it anyways? He comes over and he's like, sit where you are.
Yeah, Viggo sits there.
He comes over and looks at you. He's like, you doing drugs?
Excuse me one
No.
moment. Triss is just gonna excuse himself from the table and stand up and walk over.
Yeah. It's funny because as this was happening, I was actually going to have an RP with you. So we're going to put a pause to now. So he walks away and she's going to watch him as he walks over to the bar. And then pretty much as he walks up to the bar, she'll do like a blink from watch up to looking at you and says to you, Bluey,
Ben?
you look real capable on a horse, don't you?
You ever seen me on a horse?
She nods.
Maybe I'll show you how to ride properly. But if you'll excuse me.
Yeah, with the commotion going on, you say, if you'll excuse me. She'll, let you like watch after you as you walk over there, which I'll go back to in a second. And then she'll turn and join into the party. But throw knives? I don't know if I... And then like goes over to join them. So anyways, back to you, sir. Jake, as he's walking over, so this happens first. So he's like, you have a seat right here. And you sit down, and he's like, did you take drugs? And he excuses come over. And he goes, listen, we don't need to have any problems here. You have any idea how many problems we have already? I don't need you bringing that shit in this place.
Excuse me. My employer here is an alchemist. That's a form of medication for a sickness that he has. He coughs up blood. It's not pretty. Has to take it regularly. 3 times a day.
And I'm also going to roll. Just give me 1 second.
Not bad.
Do I like?
Yeah, like it.
Luck.
A +6 on a bartender?
Luck it.
Oh,
luck
no!
it.
No, I
Luck
can't.
it.
I can't. I can't. No, I can't luck it because
I told you to luck it
No,
before
no,
you
yeah,
even rolled.
but
Yeah,
no,
he did.
I've seen his
we-
roll. I can't.
But we
That's
both
not-
are.
No,
I
you
can't.
can't. You absolutely can.
We both said luck it before
Yeah,
he
you
rolled. It's just he
absolutely
rolled
can.
without waiting.
Can I? That seems cheese.
No,
It's on him for not waiting.
Yeah.
He should have waited till we said
No,
if we were lucky
because
or not.
because if I made my decision based off of yours, then I would have been right. Like I knew. So you're good.
Okay.
Yes.
That sucks. I was left hanging. Damn you, Anno! Anno's the only one that loves me enough to consistently give daddy's dice. All right, moving on. So you give that line, and he's like watching you speak through your helmet, like clearly making eye contact through your helmet, kind of like chewing on your words. So there's a pause after you say it. And he looks down at you and he says, Alchemist, that ain't no, what's that word there? Euphemism, is it?
Forgot the alchemist is a relatively new thing.
So good. Viggo turns and he says, you know, I can prove it. And he pulls a red potion out of his bag and he says, watch this.
Well, while you're talking and doing all this stuff, which you're definitely welcome to do this, because now you're no longer drunk, but you're pretending to be, you're going to have to roll a bluff check for like this performance. But in the meanwhile, go ahead and do your whatever you're doing.
All right, so bluff first.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay, that's a really solid.
And then he just takes he enlarged persons and he gets really big.
Oh shit!
My God.
Yep.
Shit.
And then, but after he does that, he goes, "See," and he like winks at the guy and then dismisses it.
Okay, he gets big. All of a sudden, the whole bar gets quiet. Tesh, perception check, and if it's good enough, sense motive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be where those guys are like, hang on.
And this is where they see his alchemist's pocket watch.
No,
And they realize that he
I'm
actually
blocking
serves
that.
them.
Oh no, it's a state alchemist! Run!
Yeah. Okay. Is that good enough?
That would be good enough, yeah.
God, oh, that's still okay.
Equal. He gets bigger, and once again, there's a moment where like the whole bar just like reacts. His getting bigger because he's like pretending to be drunk, and he's doing a good job of it. His spins to get bigger. He kind of like stumbles forward. His arm gets too big, knocks a couple of cups off of the bar, makes a little bit of a mess there. Knocks one of the chairs over next to him, which hits somebody's foot nearby that's standing. Like but like they can't react too much because they're like, you motherfucker, you know. And you see like people.
It's like, and now I can drink more.
The people across the way that were like scared for a second when they saw the big thing happen over by Pan, like the group, they're like, yeah, as you deliver your line. All this plays out right, but specifically Tesh, what you notice is that group of two people that were there, this happens immediately. They kind of get up, spin, and are definitely in like a poised sense. Beforehand, you were getting the impression like, okay, maybe they were like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Maybe they were like roguish type, you know, like thieves or cutthroats or whatever. But, you know, we're talking like cloak and dagger kind of people. But the way that they get up, spin, manipulate their hands to where a hidden weapon would be, so on and so forth, this suggests not just like some like back alley scum, right? This is just somebody with a degree of like actual training. Like they definitely are warriors of sorts. So you pick that up off of the two of them as they get spin, and then kind of like then he delivers his line. Now you can drink some more. One of them kind of like nudges the other one, and there's like a moment where they're watching him, but also semi-watching each other as they try to decide whether or not to ease up. Then like again, the whole bar is kind of a bit disheveled. Then he's like, snaps, and like shrinks back down again. And you can see like there's a couple more seconds pass, and the two of them ease up a little bit more, and they take up the whole bar. They're like taking in the whole bar. And this is where they're going to look in to see if they see you seeing them seeing you. So 1 second first as they roll a perception check.
It's okay. It's the 16th. Someone play love music. If their eyes meet, it'll be fine.
Also, just so you know, I would have been updating Tristan with all this information as I was getting it. Oh shit!
Play off your bluff.
This is a hard one. Oh no.
And I'll roll my sense motive immediately after you roll your bluff. I already have my modifier in there. Oh no! No!
Hey! Nice. Well done, Tesh.
See you later, Amanda.
Oh, the natty 20 when you need it.
Oh,
Tesh,
it was like a
Tesh
Neil
just,
moment.
Tesh just instantly, he just like staring at them and just sneezes. just like,
Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. Oh Jesus. No, even if I had Daddy's dice, I couldn't do anything. Really, V-Sword? Your response to them succeeding is to give them luck dice, right?
Thank you, V-Sword.
You're like, oh, look at that lucky 20. Have some more luck. All right, moving on. So, where was I at? So they don't notice you notice that aspect. Jesus, keep hitting this damn thing. They don't notice you notice that aspect about them, right? So that's good news. Either way, so everything kind of plays down. The bartender's just like, hey, no more of that, okay? As they're like realizing, oh shit, there's a big drunk dude that can do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no more
We
of that.
did say
okay?
weird stuff happens in this bar, right?
Yeah, he doesn't like weird stuff. Also, if Tristan replies to Virgil that, are you going to relay the information that he's no longer drunk?
I
don't necessarily know that.
Let him finish the RP.
Oh, fair enough.
So do you say,
Yeah.
Tris will say that Pan recognized him.
Oh, okay, good to know. I would have once again updated him on all the stuff regarding those two in the corner.
So Jake, you do you say to the bartender?
Oh, he said no more weird shit, right?
Yeah.
You got it, boss.
He goes, listen, if shit gets broke, if the place burns down, it's on you.
If I cause it, it would definitely be on me. But if some guy just comes here and sets fire to the tavern, that's not really my fault, is it?
He goes, weird shit is on you.
I'll have another two.
He goes and he pours 4 more. And he says, these ones are on the house.
Tris will nod.
Thank you.
And the person who you dropped, like the whole bar stool fell over. And you have to imagine, this isn't like IKEA shit, right? This is like old, like mahogany wood up on a stool using, what's that, as a fulcrum, falling down and just kind of like, boom, right on somebody's foot. That person is not happy. So as you walk by, having just witnessing you just get handed 4 free beers after more or less breaking their foot, they're like mean bugging you as you walk by. Tris, sense motive.
See whether I noticed this. I may well do.
You absolutely do pick it up, and you realize that this could potentially be a problem in the future.
I'm going by with 2 beers in my hands. I'll just put one down for him.
That's a really good one. All right, diplomacy check with a +4.
That's really good. I like
That's
that
smooth.
a lot.
That was real smooth. Oh, all right then. That's right.
Problem solved.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Once
Okay.
the two soldiers people, the 2 trained people started coming down, I would have also wanted to have a look at what Pan's reaction to all of this stuff was. If she was, I don't expect her to be giving away anything if she's all the way over here and got a new name.
Equally shocked and whatnot. And then as he gets smaller again and he's kind of getting the beers, you can see that while she's like looking over at Viggo, she leans into the guy who's stag party it is. She leans into him and like whispers something into his ear, and like he chuckles like enough that his beer actually spills on his hand a little bit. And she'll like take his beer because it like spills on his hands as he's like finishing chuckling and whatnot, and Vigo's walking over, and she'll take like a nice long draw out of it to like bring it down and like pat off his hand so it's nice and dry and give him the beer back. That way it won't spill anymore, right? And this is as Viggo and Bluey are actually Magpie and Bluey are returning.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else, Tesh, or
No, that everything else would be back to watching everything, but mostly watching those two.
And obviously, as they were walking over, you gave commands to your crystal thing there, Virgil, to fill Viggo in on the details because he otherwise was ignorant to them prior. So does Viggo respond to any of this?
Viggo's like, it starts foaming at the mouth, blood rolls out of his nose and his eyes, and it's like, ah!
Yeah, so I would then relay that stuff to Viggo as well. One thing that's nice to note is when with my crystal, it's less of a I tell my crystal to say blah, because it's a telepathic link where it's a proper telepathic sort of connection. So Virgil just knows what to say, sort of thing.
Oh, no, I mean, Virgil was withholding information from Viggo while he was kind of playing.
I'm just for the sake of flavor and chat. It's not like I tell Virgil to then tell blah, so it's not a chain. It's telepathic link with Virgil, so Virgil just knows what to say and tells them what to.
Gotcha.
I just read about Norway page. Seems very non-Norway like.
Nobody got jokes. Don't, and he takes fingers. So,
oh my god, he does.
All right, moving on. So you guys, you reapproach, and so she's standing there, and at first, the first like 10-15 minutes is literally just like you guys make your way over to the board, and everybody's taking turns kind of throwing daggers and whatnot at the board. This is actually you discover the guy whose stag party it is. They may be quite tipsy, but that doesn't change the fact that their aim is pretty decent. I mean, we're talking in a controlled environment, right? Their aim is good. We're not talking about on a battlefield can throw past somebody's armor while they're actively dodging and weaving and around trees, right? But in a controlled environment, their aim is pretty decent. Like, you wouldn't be surprised if he could beat either or both of you in like a straight up match, like a no cheating match if you guys were all sober. But he's drunk, you're both sober. There's a really good chance if you chose to play him, you'd win, unless you let him win. You know what I mean? Either that or beginner's luck, right? Huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, you see he's playing the game, and Pan also plays the game as well, and she seems to be throwing and missing the board entirely. It's just kind of hitting the cork around the board and everything that's there. At one point in time, the guy whose party his friends comes over. He goes to throw the knife. It's one of those like high throws where it slips out of his hand and sticks to a beam like higher up in the ceiling. It's one of those things where it's like, oh shit, that falls while someone's under it. That could be really bad. And so there's kind of like amongst the group there, people are like, gotta get it down for safety. Like they're actually genuinely not trying to be bad people. And one of them's like, magpie. I'm
gonna look over at the bartender.
You look at the bartender, and the bartender kind of like looks up there. They seem dejected, but nod.
Yeah.
Appreciative you asked.
We do it again.
Yeah, so
But I don't dismiss it straight away this time.
Yeah. This time you pop the cork, and everybody like holds their breath. You throw back the potion, and as you're like Mario, bloop, 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 people are like, yeah! and the whole bar gets into it. Tesh, your character obviously is not interested in what's happening behind you, but instead what's happening in front of you. If you focus to watch them, they keenly watch what's going on and the fact that this person has not only done that, but done that twice now in a short period of time. That definitely you can see that catches their attention. But beyond watching with a curiosity, their own conversation ending to watch, they don't like get up, act, grab their blades or anything like that, right? Because they're not caught off guard by this.
They're not startled this time.
But that being said, bluff check.
Yeah. It's gotta end eventually. Yep.
That's not bad. They're not directly looking at you, so
I'm gonna luck this.
Yep, they're not
'Cause
directly looking at you. They're distracted, so I get a -5, so I roll only a +3 instead of a +8.
Oh, thank fuck.
That's pretty good. So I'm rolling with only +3 because I'm distracted, which means -5.
Oh yes.
So it's one of those things where you're watching them. Now you have to roll me a sense motive.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Feast and famine.
I probably can't beat that. I'm gonna roll my bluff to see whether or not you notice me notice you. If I can counter that, I probably can't beat that. I'm gonna try.
Oh, I did notice. I thought that was with the -5.
Yeah.
That was
no,
off-
never. I couldn't beat it.
That
I
was
thinking
after the
different modifier.
minus.
Thank you, love. Oh my god. It
So
is
was the
toasty
18
here.
after the -5?
Maybe because
was it?
I.
Okay, I'm assuming the 18 was after the -5, which is a shame.
Do you contact
The 18 was after the -5, so they definitely noticed you. Yes, sir. Otherwise, it would have been a +8.
cool.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You never even said anything to Viggo at all, right? It was just to Tristan.
No, I did up when you were walking back to the table. I updated you with the stuff.
Once you were
the
sobered.
information.
Yeah.
Once you were sobered, yeah.
All right. So sorry.
no,
Just
hang
to
on, John,
finish.
hang on. Whoa.
Oh, okay. I was like, because that's important. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to get this out of the way quickly before I forget.
Oh.
Viggo would bring up to you, like communicate with you telepathically or whatever.
Yeah. The reply.
Do I bring up the Black Knights or not? Ask for Tristan's input as well.
I would do that. Then I would get Virgil would ask for Tristan's input on the idea of bringing up the Black Knights to see how they react. I think it's a good idea, but
yeah, I mean, he's just displayed his merch essentially.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea being like, yo, you guys heard of it, like just casually, because like you've just displayed your merch. You're like, God, I need to sell some of this. I can't just be wasting this because I'm hilarious. Like you're like,
The Black Knight is also like a terrorist group in the area. So like talking about them openly is what he
Yeah,
but
it's
I
gossip.
could like bring it into a whispered conversation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like a whispered conversation.
Yeah, whispered.
Yeah.
I'm drunk,
whisper.
remember? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But so I do notice them notice me, right?
Notice them,
Your sense
notice
motive-
me.
Your sense motive means that they see you watching them as this goes on.
Do you-
Your attention
do you-
also not on the what would be exciting for the average person. You see,
Do they-
you can see they take note of that.
Do they feel
I
like
remember this.
connection?
No.
I'm gonna-
Unfortunately, they didn't make proper eye contact yet, so there was no flutter.
There's
there
still
was
time.
No,
Good,
like
good.
sphincter clench, like nothing, like no physio.
I'm sorry, what? When you
There's
make
not
eye
much
contact
response.
with Brit, does your sphincter clench?
You don't know the damage she's done.
I'm gonna relay to the other two that they definitely know that I'm paying attention, and God damn it, Scott.
God.
I'm glad my wife doesn't watch Restraint.
So, if you have a second daughter, miraculously, you gonna call them Peggy?
That legit took me a second. I was like, because like I know a Peggy, so I was like, wait, why would I? Oh! oh boy. All right, cool. So, anyways, back to game. Yeah, you noticed that, okay? So, anyways, you go up there, you grab the blade, you take it down, and there's one of those funny things where everyone's like, throw it! But it's funny because like even if you step where you're supposed to, taking up more space than you should, and you throw it, your arm is so much further ahead of you that it's not like you're throwing, a 10-foot throw. It's like a 5-foot throw, which is, aside from getting the right spin, is really easy. That's a really easy throw. So, I mean, do you throw it, Jake?
Yeah.
You throw this thing, it hits the board with such force that the thing like
about to
rattles, and a couple of the objects on the board kind of come tinging off of it and hit down below. And people are just like laughing because they think it's the greatest thing. Somebody looks over to the bartender and says, "We need pictures, all the pictures." Like, of like any picture they have available.
And they just bring out the pictures. Like, doesn't matter what sort of frame, metal, wood, whether they've got glass covering that. Like, all the pictures just come out. And there's one of the Mona Lisa. Oh my gosh! Like, what? Where did that even come from?
My brain tuned out most of what you said, and then you said Mona Lisa, and my brain re-registered everything you had said and realized what it was going on.
I'm not ashamed of that joke. I'm sorry.
Neil, you're not ashamed of most things you should be. I'm just referring to your hair, man.
That was a great moment for just the way you did that. Was
My friendship with an older American guy who calls me young and nubile and buys me presents very occasionally.
I actually got lightheaded from that laugh. That caught me off guard.
Brittany's watching. Brittany, we don't celebrate Valentine's in our house, but Neil and I celebrate online.
Oh boy.
I love the way you get presents. Has the vibe of the way you're getting paid meme.
Oh, Jesus. That's awesome. All right, so continuing on.
Oh, my fucking camera, god damn it.
The good news is she missed the other joke, so we're all safe. All right, cool. So yeah, where were we? They notice you, notice them. So you notice them, notice you watching them, right? But back to you. You hit the board. The stuff falls off. So on and so forth. The stuff falls off. People kind of like clattering and whatnot. And at this point in time, because again, your character's genuinely sober, you also look over at the bartenders. They're calling for literally all the pitchers of beer to be filled up. You know what this is for, Jake. You know who this is for, because you had literally said earlier, "I could drink more." The bartender, looks at you and like points at the board and gives you like a look, like that's some weird shit. Like, kind of look. And you get the point.
I'm starting to like the bartender. I didn't at the start, but he's growing on me.
This poor dude just wants to just have a nice, normal evening at his business.
So they literally fill up like 6 pitchers, because there's others at other tables, of beer. And you see the 2 servers, each carrying 3, come over and place those pitchers down. Now, as somebody who's worked at a restaurant and had to carry multiple pitchers of beer before, it's a little concerning when you're handing out that much beer at once. But it's all for, you, Jake. It's all good. They went and got you a couple of drinks. Before we continue on, because there's more to be had here, how do you react over time with the fact that there are multiple pitchers of beer? And please understand, your character is twice the size, which means 8 times the volume. Literally, your weight isn't doubled. It's multiplied by, I believe, 8 when you do
Goddamn.
enlarged person. Hold on. Enlarge person, because of how volume works. Which means you can handle significantly more alcohol. Let me see. Wait, by 8. 8 times more. So how much does Viggo normally weigh?
185 pounds.
Okay. So in the United States, we have something called the BAC scale. I'm sure you guys have your own scales and whatnot that you use or whatever, right? So hold on. I'm trying to get this. open. Oh god, that's a shit one. What are we doing? I'm sure you guys have your own in your own countries or whatever that you use. Can I get a proper one? There we go. Jesus Christ. Why was that so hard? Oh my god. Sorry, 1 second. Bum 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 bum. There you are. Okay. So if you're looking at somebody who's male of, you said how many pounds?
185.
185 pounds. At 185 pounds, over the course of an hour, if you were to consume, say 3 drinks, your BAC is 0.1. Mind you, in here, it's illegal to drive with a BAC of, I think it's 0.08 is where it is in Massachusetts, is legally drunk. So you have to stay under 0.08. So 3 drinks in an hour for your character. You now weigh 8 times as much as that, which means in theory you can drink at easily double, if not quadruple more, right? So your character getting handed pitchers where now you're literally sober because the potion that you drank earlier, you should be fine. You know what I mean? Just don't drink all of them. You should actually be fine. Just kind of be mindful of that. Can you get any more of the polypurpose panacea?
Yeah, I can.
No, I wouldn't see him crashing down, Joey, because he'd be metabolizing it as that giant-sized person, and the volume in his body would also compress as he shrinks afterwards, right? Just like his equipment grows and everything gets... yeah. So if he can eat more, then, and he's however full or hungry afterwards, when he gets smaller, he should be the same amount of full or hungry afterwards, right? All right, cool. Moving on. So you... back to you guys. You are handed these pictures, and you know, because your character is literally like a verifiable genius and have many degrees in understanding specifically of things like poisons and drugs and potions and how they affect the body. You know, okay, if I drink 3 of these pitchers the way that I would drink, like, say, 3 pints, I might get tipsy again, but I might be able to sleight of hand another Polyscia without people noticing, especially if you take another potion at the same time, right? So you're like kind of calculating this out. So do you drink more? Like, do you kind of like lean into it? Do you lean away from it? Like, how do you go with this? And your giant size only lasts for what? A minute per level? And you're level 5?
Mm-hmm.
So you can like slam down 3 pitchers pretty quickly and look badass and then get smaller and not have to worry about it as much, right?
Yeah.
So what's your plan here? Talk to me. Because I have to set it up in my head.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to have to do just that. We're going to down 3. And then I'm kind of going to wobble a bit, reach out for Bluey. And by that time, I'll probably just turn back to normal, and then I'll just sit down. You know what I mean?
I won't lie, chugging three. If it was real pints, because let's try to equate size here. Though technically speaking, those don't increase by 8 times for you, because one pitcher has like 4 drinks and a pint is 1 drink, right? So, by the way, so more or less slamming two and change pints of beer in 5 minutes would fuck your belly up. So you would definitely be like, oh boy. And people like cheering it on, and it's exciting, and so it's like it's genuine, like one of those things where you've only added to the fervor of the party. People are just like, yeah, this is like the greatest stag party ever, and it just continues to go on, right? And things kind of continue to progress that way. While all this is going on, Tesh, several minutes later, one of those guys gets up and walks out of the establishment.
Okay. I will inform the other 2 that this is that has happened. Does he look at me as before he leaves, or is he just being very? Is he being very careful not to look at me?
Sense motive.
Dang, I won't like this one.
Let me roll. I rolled beforehand with my bluff. They are being careful not to look at you.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna relay that as well.
Lots of 17s and 18s. It's weird.
I know, right? So I would relay that and just say we may have a hook.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone's on the line.
Yeah, Becca. I feel really sick.
Oh dear. Go to Tristan. We have a hook. Also, be careful. He may throw up soon.
So if you're looking a little green in the gills, they'll start chanting a phrase in. They're drunk now, so like their smartness of being careful has gone away.
The Daelish is coming out.
They start chanting a phrase in Daelish that more or less equates to binge and purge, binge and purge, binge and purge. Like kind of like trying to get you to like vomit so you can keep going.
Yeah, well, he'll stand up. He'll take one of these big pictures over to the because he's gonna throw up outside. He's not gonna throw up in the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he'll walk over there and he'll go to start drinking it, but he's normal size now.
Yep.
So this is just huge. He gets through a little bit of it and he just puts it down, and you can just see him he kind of rushes outside.
Oh, Triss will drag his hand down his face and then stand up.
Down his helmet.
No, because she's recognized me.
Okay.
So that's on you.
No,
unless she can recognize me through a helmet.
She recognized him. She knows that armor.
No, she said Bluey. She's never seen this armor before. I didn't have this armor back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Yeah. Sorry.
I will note, there was the time when we were fully suited up in armor and regalia that we were interrogating the witness dude that she did see us. So she would have seen your armor.
No, I didn't have this suit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't own it. It wasn't produced. It wasn't created.
Correct.
So my helmet would have been off for the sake of veracity. Triss would drag his hand down his face and stand up and follow Magpie out.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically want to make sure this dude isn't noticing them go out and looking like he's gonna follow.
Okay. So he runs out there shortly after that guy walks out there because he's going to go puke. Do you go out as well or no?
I'm gonna wait until that guy moves, but I'm gonna keep just pinging Tristan to make sure everything's okay.
So you're still
Bloop.
sitting here. Okay.
Bloop. Oh my god, dude, stop. Stop. Bloop, bloop. Tristan is busy.
I'm somebody who has my phone almost always on silent. We're talking it's not on silent maybe an hour a week. My wife never has her phone on silent, and so when she gets text
Scott, I would
messages,
never
it's lots of ding, 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 and I was like, ah.
I would never have guessed that you have your phone on silent, to be honest, Scott, because you're always so good at replying to everyone. Someone asks you questions, sends you a message, pings you, and just they get a reply, actually get one. And I can't even meme about the delay. They just get one,
Mm-hmm. I also have stopped almost all push notifications for almost every app because and most group chats that I'm in, whether it be Discord or text messages, I mute those too.
I will say I'm the same with that. I can't handle Discord notifications most of the time. There's a few select channels that I have notifications on for. Everything else is muted. Also, my phone, I have the notifications sound for everything turned off except Facebook, because when I first tried, I couldn't figure it out, and then I couldn't be bothered. And now it just happens infrequently enough that it goes bong, and I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And then I forget about it and don't do it because it's only infrequently. And it's infuriating.
Okay, cool. Gotta keep infuriated. Hey. So you stay there. You guys go outside. Jake, you throw up. It's super easy. You throw up, so on and so forth. You clean it all out. It comes out like piss. You are provided a little bit of cover from Neil. Even that guy that walked out shortly ahead of you from down the street, he does give a bit of a look back, but he has no reason to worry about the two of you. You're just somebody who has the ability to get bigger. That's
he doesn't know
that
I'm with you guys. Yeah.
I mean, we did all three walk in together earlier, but these people did not.
These
people were not.
Yeah, they came in after the fact.
Triss is watching him as he walks off because he's got his hand on his mate's back / employer's back and doesn't want to watch the vomiting, so he's watching something else.
Yeah, and that's inconspicuous. Genuinely is inconspicuous, right? So either way, Jake, at this point in time, if you want to pop a Polyscia, you can.
Yeah.
Sorry, Panacea.
I will. Yep.
It's like the good old paladin lay on hands, instant no drunk.
So you no, it's called Buzzkill.
Yeah.
So
It's,
while
my
we're
favorite
out
thing is
there,
whenever
though-
a paladin does it, it is a buzzkill because they're like, no, we need you sober. Boom. Hey.
what's up, Jake?
While we're in there, outside, sorry, I'll say to Bluey, all right, when we go back inside, I'll talk to them about I'll ask about Black Knights, but after I ask about them, depending on the reaction we get, maybe you should say it's time to leave, and we get out of here.
All right. I'm still a little bit perturbed to see Lady Pan appear.
So am I. It's a very long way from where she was before, and especially she was involved in our business back then. For what reason she could have to be here?
A lot more than meets the eye with that one, I think.
I would agree.
All right, then, you filthy creature.
Viggo
Alright.
shakes his head. Here we go.
He'll pat him on the back.
And then they'll walk in.
Cool. So you guys go walking back in. You head over. As you walk back in, people are just more or less again that Daelish phrase that more or less means binge and purge, binge and purge. Like as you come in, they say like 3, 4 more times, and they come over. And, you know, there's like hugs. People kind of pulling you in, hugs, pats on the backs. One person goes to like give you like on your head, and you're like, what the fucking hair, man. And like and they go to give you another beer and
God, the alleyways here must be disgusting.
you stare at that beer in your hand. I don't know if any of you have ever been in this scenario in your life before. I have. You stare at that beer in your hands, and your arm feels like it's like 6 miles long, and every fucking millimeter it gets closer to your face feels like just an hour-long drive. As it's getting there, and your face is just getting even more screwed up, and your stomach's flipping out, and your intestines are gurgling, and
Your
heart
entire body is
racing.
like, please no.
Your forehead's sweating, like, you know, like knees weak.
Sounds truly horrific.
Oh, absolutely terrible. And then you bring it up, and then you take a sip, and you swallow it, and your throat seizes around it. And then you take a second sip, and oh, it wasn't that bad. And then you take like a better, third and fourth sip are easier, and then you're back in the game. Then you're back in the game.
It's just that idea of like more beer that your body's like, fuck no.
I never used to drink though. I'm not really a drinker.
Yeah, sure.
Says the guy with the cupboard of what was it?
What, Scotch?
Scotch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only has that because he's called Scott, though.
Yeah, that's the other. It's just for the memes.
He's like, this would be hilarious.
Expensive meme.
Yeah, it is an expensive meme. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but it lasts forever, so like it just accrues value.
I wouldn't say that, but it does last a very, very long time. I would say though, Tesh, that the Super Bowl, I had 2 drinks. I won't lie. These drinks were a little heavy-handed with the pour, but there was two neat scotches is all it was. And I woke up in the middle of the night, like with like sweats, like my stomach was killing me. I was like, oh boy, like alcohol doesn't process the same way as it used to.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't the spicy wings?
Unfortunately,
I haven't
no spicy
drank
wings, sadly.
since God. This is my cousin's wedding now, I think, is the last time I drank. And I didn't drink much because I had to drive.
I have, if I were to put an average on it, I have about 2 beers a month. Sorry, 2 drinks a month.
I'm less than that.
But what I would say is I could easily go 5 months with 0 drinks, but then on Father's Day have 10. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Apparently you couldn't though, because you had 2 drinks for Super Bowl and near enough died. Quote Scott.
This year was kind of unique because New Year's Day was my brother's wedding, and I drank a lot on New Year's Day. I had the big. I was drinking Moscow Mules by like 30-ounce cups. Moscow Mules. Granted, there's ice in there as well, but like I had a ton of that. I was doing shots and drinking beer, and Eric's wedding was intense. But anyway,
that's a lot in your 40s, man.
Jesus. Moving on. Let's get back to the goddamn game. I don't like this.
Look, man, come July, I'll be 27. And then, I mean, that is just a short stint to 30 right there. Like,
don't talk about 30 like
there's
that.
Only a matter of time before, like, the constant death of the universe, like, just crushes me.
Neil, I will tell you,
Dude,
30 was
so
great.
angry.
35, not so great.
I'm just mad that I left my 20s in fucking lockdown. Both of them.
Oof.
Like 29 and 30 were both in lockdown. It's not fair.
Oofs.
Game, play, stuff happen. So you guys go walking in, and Tesh, you're going to continue watching that one person that's over there. You can see that they're sitting there. They have their, just to themselves, drinking, so on and so forth, not making eye contact with you or anything like that. Since their friend left, they've shifted their seat a bit. Again, this is a table like yours that can have more people. And there are other people at your table, to be clear. But if your table can sit 6, there's 3 others with you. You know what I mean? That's part of like the 2 open seats or the few open seats I talked about. So, and the place has certainly got more busy, especially with like what's been said. But you know what's going on in here? Like this place has gotten much busier than it has been. It's almost like a sideshow. You're attracting attention. You know what I mean? So either way, that person has a full table to themselves, and this is where Tesh. It's pretty obviously conspicuous when a single person is sitting there and having the table to themselves. So they're not going to stay much longer. So we're going to get back to you in a second. Back to the other boys. You guys are go walking back in. There's that moment after you've drank like another half beer, Jake, and you did your concoction, so you're sober again, but you're pretending like you're not. You're going to be working your way into conversation. I need you to do 2 things. One, I need you to go ahead and roll me a bluff check to continue to pretend to be drunk. And then 2, I need you to go ahead and roll me a what the fuck was I saying? My brain's not working. I'm so sorry. I need you to go ahead and roll me a diplomacy. If you're trying to be discreet, with a -10. You guys level 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to be bait anyway.
Okay. Unfortunately, the modifier is not very good, so I'm gonna do this. Ooh, that was almost a natty 1. All right, cool.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think you would find that that's not a natty 1.
Yeah, it's like
rather far from it. Actually,
the dice rolled is like teetering on 1 and 19, and it just chose 19.
Yeah, that's Cox. Roll that again, man.
No,
like Jack can see
you don't
that.
know what happened Friday. Friday was rough. It like threw off our session because it was distracting with how bad it was. About 50% of the rolls were like you would roll like it was clearly a 3, and it'd be like a 17. You couldn't even see a 17 on the die. You know what I mean? It was bad.
Oof.
But anyways, back to the game. So Jake, you go in, you pretend to be drunk, and
is that what you sound like when you get drunk?
That's immediately what I thought of when you made that sound.
So anyways, you go in there, you're pretending to be drunk, and you eventually bring up the Black Knights. How do you bring them up? Like, what is the phrase? What do you do? What do you say?
Well, I make note of the fact that my coin purse is running low after all these drinks, and I need to start selling some stuff. And then in like a hushed whisper, he kind of says, "I don't just sell potions; I sell other things as well. I've even been told to seek out someone called Black Knights. They're supposed to be interested in what I can supply. And he says that in Dalish, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So specifically to those two boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who are not from around here, mind you.
Yeah, but it's the whole point of what I was saying was it was a whispered, like,
I get it,
but not whispered,
Drunk whispered.
Yeah.
Now here's the most important question of them all.
Mm-hmm.
You got an 18. Are you satisfied with your 18?
Do we have any luck left, Tash?
I'm pretty sure we have luck. Let
He
me.
said that to the one person that's using all of it.
We have 2.
Tesh is the
At
cell of the
least.
group, and by that I mean
Oh,
he's
I'm
the
gonna
nice
try.
one.
Okay, there we go.
That's a good one.
That is a
22
good one.
That's solid. I actually set the DC at a 21 for this because you're trying to extract information. So you say this to this to the stag, to the buddy, or to like somehow to both?
To both.
Okay.
The hand on each like arm over the necks.
So
The huddle.
you say that, and you can see that the stag, the guy whose party it is, he's like, who? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But the buddy, he kind of like, he gives like a bit of a look, like a little confused look, and he goes, why would you want to give to those idiots?
I'm new here. I just was.
He goes, no,
told
no,
they might be
listen,
interested
listen,
in what
listen,
I've
listen, 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 listen. You don't want to get involved in that. That's a quick way of getting yourself into some trouble. Now, we're in Malisal Harbor for a reason. I've been told about a couple places because I do have a few friends around here, But you don't want to get involved with the Black Knights. They're lunatics.
We was told. Tris would lean in. This is like his first proper time
speaking in
speaking.
Dalish.
Oh, are they speaking in Dalish? Oh, never mind. then.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Never mind.
If I
I'll just take
remember
my headphones.
I made note because I was like I wouldn't be able to know what they're talking about either.
cool.
So.
Thank you.
Sorry.
He went to respond, but I imagine Jake's the one responding now.
Well, let's bring Triss back in by whispering to Triss. In Perrin, he says we shouldn't do business. He says I shouldn't do business with the Black Knights. He says they're lunatics.
I thought that they were helping the people, like.
Again, the guy whose stag party it is, he shakes his head. He's like, what you on about? And his friend kind of like, moves away from you, puts 2 hands on his shoulders, and says, hey, tonight is the night that you are supposed to just, So you go over there, and you give her a kiss for good luck, and you just hit every board, okay? Every one of them on the board. And he's like, all right. And he goes over to Pan, and he goes to give her a kiss for good luck.
Viggo grabs him by the arm as he leaves, and he puts an enlarged person potion in his hand. Use it well.
Oh, no. So he goes to give her a kiss for good luck, and she's like being flirty, but definitely does like the whole last second side cheek thing, because she doesn't really want to kiss, but she also knows what environment she brought herself into for whatever reason, right? And you guys haven't discovered that yet. So she does like the last second like side cheek thing, and then he doesn't seem deterred at all. He's just having a great fucking night. So he goes over and he grabs up the knives or whatever, puts them on like a table next to him to get ready to start throwing. And then he's just kind of like, as the one turns to you, he turns to you and he goes, listen, you don't want to go messing with them. They're not doing good for people. They're doing good for themselves. there are those out there trying to do good for, and you hear, ah, ah, ah. She's like literally holding up the potion for all to see and goes to pull the lid off. And then there's a moment as he's doing it, he's like, and he goes to drink the potion. Potions are very small. I'm gonna roll a 1d20 minus 1. He has to beat a
Just
6.
let him drink it.
1d20 minus 1. He didn't beat a 6. Do you want to luck it?
This is an NPC's roll, so it has to be your luck.
I don't
Scott.
have
Yes,
Daddy's
you
dice.
can luck it.
I don't
luck
have
it,
Daddy's-
Scott. Try. Luck it. It's your NPC. You don't want him to fail, do you? On his wedding night? Dude, that's cruel, man.
So he goes to throw the thing back, and unfortunately, it's one of those things where it he's like, and he goes, and unfortunately, he's like, oh my eye, oh, it burns so much. Oh,
Oh no, his eye just goes boom.
Oh my god, he's become
You're
Wrecker.
supposed to drink it.
So because it goes into his eye, it gets into his system, but there's like all of a sudden you see like his face gets
Oh
all
no,
like,
don't.
and then there goes like, his forehead's like poof, and his head's like poof, doof, boonk, and his shoulders like doof, doof, doof. And then he transforms, but instead of this like bloop bloop bloop, it's like this slow like
Oh god.
and it takes like almost a minute for him to get bigger, and then
So I
finally
got
he's
four more
full.
minutes.
He's full size, so it's gonna wear off because not as much got in. So like he gets bigger, and then people are just kind of like patting him and helping him stand up and whatnot, and he's like, "Oh, fuck!" And you guys are very distracted by what the hell that was.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh," and he gets all excited, and he reaches down and picks up a dagger, and he's like, "Yeah!" And he pops his arm back. And he goes to throw it, but then all of a sudden his arm gets small as he goes to throw it. And it misses the board and hits beneath it. And then one of his legs gets small. And he's like, and he like falls backwards, and the arm slaps a table nearby and breaks the table, and dishes everywhere and whatnot. And then he's like, oh, as he's and gets small again.
Oh god.
Everybody loves it, of course, and he's so drunk he just thinks it's awesome, though uncomfortable. So
He's gonna be in pain tomorrow.
and so as this whole thing kind of plays out, the guy that went to go talk to you, he kind of gives like one of those backhand slaps to the chest, and he goes, "Never mind, you can sell to the Black Knights." And he goes to like walk away or whatever, because like he saw that as a bit of a fail, not realizing his buddy threw it in his eyeball instead of,
Yeah.
I don't know if you approach it any further or leave it be.
I looked to Triss.
He said sell to the knights, and you're like, well, how? Surely need to know how.
Did
Did he say that as he's walking away or getting up?
Are you guys having this conversation in Parrot now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said that for a while.
Yeah,
ago.
he
Then,
switched it.
then yeah. If he tries to stand up, Trace would romantically put his hand on his and say, "How?"
And he returns a greeting. How? No, so so he you say how, and he just shrugs and says, "I told you, I don't know anybody with those." Oh, hold on. Oh, too many pork rinds. I don't know anybody in the Black Knights. Sorry, can't help you there.
Viggo looks at him and he says, in like a whisper, "Are you Kingsguard?"
It's at this point in time that the one of the servers comes over. Sense motive. Then one of the servers comes over. That's Jake Ansneal can sense motive. Then one of the servers comes over and is just start flipping their shit. They're like, if this doesn't settle down, all your asses are out of here. What the hell's the matter with you? So on and so forth. But at the same time that happens, the door was opening and a couple more people were walking in and watching all that take place. People are like roaring with, oh my God, this is crazy. And you see even more people come into this place. If there was a fire code that existed, we are well past fire code, like well past capacity of this building. Jake, are you happy with your 16 or do you want to modify that, sir? Yeah, well past capacity for this, what this building would be working with. So the, but a bunch more people coming in and more people are drinking and there's more money to be had and so on and so forth. The person's pretty drunk and it's not that difficult for you to get a bit of a read of them. Oh my God, I just realized something. I'm so sorry to detract because we're in the moment. I just realized for the first time ever, literally first time ever, somebody just hit 3,001. I broke 3,000 followers on Twitch. I've been hovering at 299 something or 298 something for literally like 3 years. So it's just like a yeah.
Ding.
Yeah, this is very exciting.
You know what to do.
That is good.
Hit the unfollow.
Hit the unfollow button. Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. That's right. All right, cool. Back to the game. So you so yeah, they're kind of coming in excited, so on and so forth. And with your sense motive, as you had said, I'm sorry, Jake, I distracted myself. Your Kingsguard. He kind of like, you can see that the way that he's like getting up to walk away because he doesn't answer you. The way he gets up and walks away, there's like almost a bit of a pause in his motion. Like there's like a frozen moment, and you realize you just struck a nerve. Like, definitely just struck a nerve. And so,
so he's not Kingsguard?
No, he's Jihuan.
No, definitely it is Kingsguard.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting you to hit the nail on the head.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but he still moves away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This gives you guys. I'm gonna have something else happen in a second, but this gives you guys a moment of reprieve where it's just the two of you together. If you need to say anything or whatever.
All the while through that, I would have been paying extra attention to my boy in the corner, seeing if he's paying attention to them, basically.
So they you noticed that during the commotion of everything that was happening, and I'm sorry, but like a flying arm smashing a table and whatnot actually drew your attention away. Like that's just, it was too much and it was too close, right? You realize that they're no longer alone. 3 others during that group of people and the other group of people that came in, 3 others have joined them. There's now 4 people at that table. You also notice that despite the fact that there are 4 people at that table, 2 of them are definitely wearing like a boiled leathers, kind of like armor on underneath the cloaks that they have, and one of them you see like a little bit of glint of metal underneath their tunic or whatnot that they're wearing, suggesting they might have some sort of chain shirt or ring mail or whatever underneath there.
Okay, I'm gonna relay that to both of them and suggest that if we want to get things going, they only know about me. If I reckon they're gonna follow me or attack me once I head out. If when we want to move on, if you guys head into the alley next door and get ready, I'll saunter out and around the corner and see what happens.
So when they give you the go, you're going to do that, but for now you're sitting tight.
Yeah, basically I'm going to say when we're ready to move on, I'm going to suggest they go out and set up around the corner ready for those two, like ready for a fight, so that I'm the bait, essentially. I'm going to walk around the corner and then, because they're probably going to follow me out.
To answer Joey's question, no, because he's been staring in that area and has crushed like 5 perception checks in a row over there. He's got a beat on it. He's good at this point. So anyways, that's kind of conferred to them. Also, after that person kind of gets up and walks away, and there's a moment of reprieve again, where both Bluey and Magpie are getting filled in on the details of whatnot through the telepathy. Pan comes sauntering over to where you guys are. She's like, I see you boys are having some fun.
So
As
ever. Got another date.
She raises an eyebrow, but doesn't respond.
I offer no more.
Okay. She goes, were you going to say something, Neil?
Triss is going to say, you staying in the harbor?
She nods. She says, I'll be here for some time, as I've been here for some time. I do have to say, though, she says, charting and looking at Jake, you really can hold your liquor. It's inspiring. Truly inspiring.
Can Viggo make himself burp? That is a good question.
He burps the alphabet.
I can,
See,
but I don't want to
can't.
because it can
Some
make
people
me very.
can.
No, I can't.
I can, but you know.
I can, but if I do it, I get going, and and then later on it feels like I'm going to throw up, so I'm not gonna.
I think Viggo can do it. So he'll let out like a decent burp, and he'll be like, "Sure can."
Okay. So he lets out like a nice like, bleh, you know, and it's one of those burps where afterwards you feel like something's kind of caught in your throat, and it takes like another 20 seconds before you can burp like another small burp to like get that feeling gone again. So anyways, yeah, you get that all out, and she's just kind of like, charming.
Speaking of charming, my understanding is that you were some sort of scholar. Now it seems that you're a lady for hire.
Shakes her head.
That is not what it was.
She says, I'll excuse your attempted insults, despite the fact that that is actually illegal here. But that's...
Oh yeah, no, I'm sex work positive. That's not an insult. That's literally, I thought that's what you were doing here. I mean, why else are you hanging out with them?
She actually almost immediately lightens up a bit when you seem to be not some hyper-conservative douche. So, because it wasn't meant to be an insult beyond like making that assumption. She goes, but no, I was invited here, same as all these other chaps and yourselves. Though, if I had to guess, I would assume that you weren't invited, but somehow invited yourselves.
She knows us well already.
I don't know how you'd come to that conclusion, quite frankly.
She gives you like a side, like, really kind of look.
It's just like, same as you. People see me and they think, whoa, want him at my party.
She'll actually chuckle at that and say, all pleasantries aside, what are you two doing here? And where's the other one? The place is a bit bustling. I haven't noticed them.
What are you doing here?
I'm sorry to inform you of this, but I did inquire first. Now, while you may very well be a gentleman, I can certainly tell by that very posh way that you often present yourself, and certainly the attire that you choose to wear. The fabric count is certainly on point for somebody of your upbringing, whatever that upbringing may be. But that aside, ladies don't always come first. And she'll give like a bit of a nudge to Tristan and say, I'm sure you know that.
I'm glad that Triss is already quite pink. You can't see him blush that much. Stability isn't good for business. Potions sell better in, well, places like this.
She nods and says, she nods to your like reasoning or whatever, and says, my question remains unanswered, and I'm not so easily distracted.
I mean, you asked what our business is, and Magpie's a merchant.
She once again gives you that unappreciative of the lie kind of look, and she says, certainly it is a perfectly normal thing for merchants to want to look through the archives of sewers halfway across the continent from here.
Touche.
Well, you know, mushrooms and the like, they grow in those sorts of places. Ingredients. I don't really know because I'm not the one who finds them, but
it is poignant to it would be poignant of me to point out or that you are choosing to
Listen,
speak
Pan.
for there we go, the man himself.
As soon as she, when she like looks, like you can see Viggo, there's no pretense anymore. He's looking at her like he's not drunk and he's giving her his full attention. It seems that many people aren't what they seem, including you. It's rather strange that you end up in the same place as us twice, same spot, talking to the same people.
As she nods, she goes, that makes me wonder why you're here.
It makes me wonder why you're here. You're not rather forthcoming yourself.
She nods and she goes, but little old me is just all by myself. The three of you following me around, that's enough to get a girl all, concerned.
Well, you see, that's the thing is I need protection. And he like pats Neil. But you aren't by yourself. And you're in and around and amongst things that you have no business being amongst. I'll see you around, Pan. And he gets up and looks to Triss. Shall we?
Triss would stand and look at Pan and say, I'd offer to walk you home, but I'm sure you'll be all right. Good evening.
She'll nod and say, till we meet again, I guess.
It's apparently going to happen a lot.
Okay. So you guys go up and walk out.
Yeah, Viggo makes a show of leaving, obviously, because he's been rather the center of attention of a lot of this stuff. So he
the guy so
downs one more beer rather loudly.
Goodbyes, or is it like an Irish goodbye
Yeah.
where you just like, peace?
No, he says goodbye, especially to those two.
Those guys like, no, don't go. Though, the don't goes from the friend are a little bit more lackluster than the don't go. You know what I mean? Like he's saying it, he's going through the motions and he's drunk. But it's definitely like he's playing it up for his friend, and because he's so drunk, his bluff is terrible. So it's easily seen through by anybody who's not drunk, right? Neil, can you do me a favor? Roll me a sense motive. A Daelish goodbye.
I've rolled 2 5s for sense motive back to back.
Yeah. Jake is the one that's actively
that helmet,
doing goodbye, so
you
he
can't
can't
see
roll
anything.
because he's distracted, right? So, so you don't pick anything up. But either way, so you say goodbyes. Oh no, don't go, and no, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. And he's like, all right, But either way, when you go to leave, you go to make a show to leave. One of the server people will come over to you and be like, Demo wants to see you.
Who?
Points at the bar.
Bartender.
I'll walk over to the bar.
Okay. He gestures for you to take a seat there.
Sure.
It's time we settle up your tab there, friend.
I've been paying for my drinks, right?
Yeah, of course. You've actually been buying rounds, too.
Yep. All right. And what's that, Demo?
He looks over the way, looks back at you, and says, "There's an awful lot of drinks. You know that, right?"
Yeah, I can also count.
He nods. He's like, I'm not questioning that. There's also a broken table. There's a bit of a mess happening over there. I got a couple of people that are agitated.
Your tavern has been booming tonight. You have made so much money.
Yeah, he leans
All
forward.
right.
He leans forward as you're talking at him. He leans forward. Yep, like elbows down on the thing, kind of like leans into it.
Yeah.
You keep going.
What could I possibly owe you, Demo? This wonderful evening.
He says 2 things. First of all, everything needs to be paid for. And I think the best payment you can give, you got 1 more of those potions.
That's 50 gold, Demo.
He looks over. He's like, "That was a nice table," and looks back at you,
$50
kind
gold table.
of slyly, like, "Maybe, please."
Chris would lean in. It might be good to have a local bartender on our side, as it were.
You see, Demo, 50 gold's a lot of money. But you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
He nods.
He says as he starts taking out the potion.
He nods. He says, "You meet me around back. I can, my nails are pretty grown out." Liam attempted a joke. I imagine if Viggo, it just kind of goes,
Yep.
slowly drips off of his. So he says the two things, right? So he says one, he nods and makes this bad joke, and you're just kind of like, ugh. Do you take a large person potion and give it to him?
I put it on the table.
Well, he's at the
And I
bar.
say, on the bar, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
put
you
it
like
on the
grab
bar,
like
but
an
my hand's still on it.
empty mug and just like put it on top of one or whatever. So if you're trying to be discreet, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he'll say, I bet you hear an awful lot owning a tavern.
He nods. He says, "I do," which is why the second thing you owe me is a thank you.
I'll look at him expectingly.
He goes, "You see that group over there?"
Do you want me to turn around?
No. He did. No, he just kind of like says, "You see that group over there? He doesn't want you to turn around or anything like that."
Yeah. Yep. All right. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. He says, they're not such a nice group, and your friend that you walked in with earlier, let's just say he's caught their attention."
Doesn't sound good.
He shakes his head no and says, "They're from around here, but really not. There's what's left over of an old group called the Broken Blade. You don't want to be messing with them."
Broken blade.
He nods slowly and says, "Like I said, remnants. They have a chip on their shoulder. Now, you're not the reason why they're here, but that doesn't change the fact that they've got an eye on one of your friends, probably thinking that he has a bit of involvement. They're looking for someone named Crow. I suggest you find Crow. He'll help you get out of the mess and probably have a few more answers of what you're looking for."
Viggo slides the glass over to him with the potion in it and says, any help on where to start?
He nods slowly and says, "Crow has been lying low, working as a dockhand. See, that's how most people try to get information. Be amongst them. Spend time. It's a little less conspicuous."
If only he knew that
We
was the
did all right,
point.
didn't we?
What was that?
I said if
He looks over at the thing, looks back and says, he shakes his head and says, "I wouldn't be surprised if your face is known by everyone in the harbor by tomorrow morning."
Nods. Looks like I'll have to try a different mustache tomorrow.
He'll actually chuckle because he doesn't know it's a fake mustache. So he thinks it's like a legit, he chuckles. Either way. So, and he just says, "Be careful though. If you do choose to go that way, there ain't no coming back. It's a fine line to stay out of everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying?
These
Good thing I do.
remnants, what they call themselves now.
Same. They just ain't what they used to be. That's all.
Doesn't last long. Hope you don't either. He'll turn around and start walking out.
What doesn't last long? Sorry. Oh, yeah, that, yeah.
The potion, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you mean by hope you don't either?
Oh, he motions at his penis.
Oh my God, that went right over my head. I guess you're a large person. Oh Jesus, that's hilarious. All right. So yeah, you guys get up and walk away from the bar and walk out. Do you do like a knock knock on Tesh's table as you go to like suggest for him to leave?
So,
or you...
As they start to leave, that would be me pinging them to say, "What's the? Are we a go for the plan?" sort of thing. Basically, so they don't have to interact with me at all before.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
leave.
I'll defer to our resident security expert.
I mean,
Really?
he's already told us what to do. I'm walking out. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys are doing the plan, then I'm gonna.
This is his plan. What does he mean? Are we doing his plan?
I'm just confirming that that's what's happening, so I don't walk around the corner into an alley with no one and be like, "Oh shit."
I mean, that would be hilarious.
Okay, so if the plans are go, I wait for them to walk out, give it, enough time for that I think that they'll be able to go around the corner and set up, and then I will get up, leave some more gold on the table. Not 2 gold this time because apparently that's cursed. I'll leave a gold this time on the table. And then I'll get up and walk out. Do I notice them watching me as I walk out?
Nope, nothing so conspicuous as that.
Okay. I'm gonna head around, walk towards the alleyway. Once I get to the end of the alleyway, do I see them coming?
Roll me a sense motive. First, a perception, though this DC is much lower than the other ones were, and then followed by sense motive if you don't roll shit. Hold on, and you're fine, so you can go ahead and roll me a sense motive.
5 again.
Are you fine with that 16, or do you want to modify that? Well, the other one I'll tell you beat, but...
Yeah. What do you guys think? Should I leave that one or roll it?
We don't have many luck.
Yeah, I'll say let's save the luck. I'm assuming I'm going to get attacked anyway, so... I'm erring on the side of things going horribly wrong anyway, so let's leave it.
Just so you know, I have a dagger. That is all I have.
I know. This is... I need a fight. I need to know where a fight's going to start so I can be crystalled up, because I can't crystal up in front of them.
No, it makes me sad. I just saw this picture from not that long ago. I want to share this picture with you guys. I'll pop it into Discord. Sorry, not Discord, into a Twitch chat.
Twitch.tv.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll... you might have to like copy and paste
It
it
works.
to click it. Yeah. And I have to say, it was not that long ago. My beard is so brown.
I literally was looking at it and thinking, hang on.
My beard's so brown in that picture. It hurts. It hurts my soul. You can see a little whisper of gray, and that's it. Oh.
Sadness is you.
Same 5 head though.
So Scott, as I'm leaving and rounding the corner, that was my sense motive, and I'm not boosting it. I am going to round the corner once, I get to the point where I'm ready to.
Yep. I just have to go ahead and make a check real quick for y'all. Wrong.
These are remnants of the broken blade. These are not Blackguard, then, correct?
No, I don't know if I don't know this. All I know is that they want to attack me. Is what I'm pretty sure they want to do.
Okay. So you round the corner and your friends are over there around the corner too, right?
The once I've rounded the corner, meaning I'm out of the sight of the street and anyone else, I'm gonna immediately crystal up. Because if I don't do that now, I'm not gonna get another chance.
So you walk around the corner and you go over there, your friends are over there as well, so you're prepared or whatever. You get your crystal up and you look back the other way to wait to see. You see like a couple seconds pass and then somebody starts turning to walk like they're walking down that alleyway as well, but they're coming from a different angle. They're not coming from inside the tavern. They're coming from the opposite direction of the tavern, and they turn to walk down that path. Then they stop and they see like Crystal, you, and the other two that are there. And they stop and they just kind of like give that look like a surprise look. They genuinely didn't expect to see all of that. They just stop and there's they're frozen for a moment. Sorry, they say, and Perrin, and then they take like 2 steps back and then turn and start walking over towards the tavern itself.
Was this person dressed like the others?
I mean, there's not like everybody has like a uniform way of dressing, right? But definitely, I mean, they're wearing, because it's colder at night, they have a cloak on them to keep them warm as they're walking or whatever. They have an outfit to them. You don't know if they had any weapons on them or anything like that. They just look like another person that happened to be walking down the alleyway. There was somebody that was pretty much in their prime, which is 36. So maybe like a warrior's age or something like that, but you don't know. But yeah, they definitely turn and walk back the other way. Could you guys at all?
They would not have seen me.
You guys can all roll a perception check real quick, and I understand Viggo because you turn invisible.
Triss will say,
we walked out there before.
To Galen, Triss will say, these fellows in there that you were staring at are apparently remnants of the broken blade.
So he says that, but as he's saying that to you, he's kind of like filling you in on those details. You're watching the alleyway because it was like strange, and you were expecting something else to happen. You're like, that was strange. But then you're looking because if you think you're in an alleyway, light outside at nighttime comes from like torches or whatever, right? So right outside the tavern, they happen to have a couple of torches there to light it up, casting some light. So he's like looking out there. So he's saying these words next to you, or kind of like stepping up from behind you to say these words to you. So you hear it in your ear. But you're looking out, then you look down and you see the shadows down below. And with your 24 perception check, Galen, you definitely notice like that shadow walked over towards the door as other shadows approached. The shadows are all together for a minute and they all disappeared. Viggo can certainly, while invisible, noticing something strange as well, but also wanted to get a better sight, steps around the corner to see that person step inside the tavern, like right behind another person's boot, like clearly seemed to follow somebody else into the tavern as they went.
Right, so they figured it out. They sent a scout ahead of time.
Like somebody that was like maybe on the other side and was like, let me just go make sure that if they come out and they need to know where you guys went next, they can kind of like give direction. But from what you're suggesting, maybe like they saw the group coming out and were like,
Well,
We should head back.
Indeed, at least that's the immediate problem solved. But that's another one.
I can say I can hear you, but if you're putting on that voice, I suggest bumping up the volume maybe 10%. I can hear you, but if somebody has more sensitive ears in chat because of the music, they may not have been able to understand you. Short version.
Settings might have changed, so let me...
Yeah, because it updates all the time. He just said more or less in the immediate, the problem is solved, is what he said. But
How's this? Is this better?
that's actually loud, which is, in my opinion, not too loud. That's actually like imposing loud, which is a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Then yeah, I said specifically, well, that's one problem solved, but that's another one for later.
Cool. Perfect.
Head back.
So yeah, you sit back or whatever, and
I'll drop the crystal once we're heading out.
Yep. You guys walk the other way out the alley and continue going. Yeah. So you guys just head back to your place. You've discovered a lot.
How long?
Vomited. Your stomach hurts. So on and so forth. You could really go for some like KFC or something like that right now. Taco Bell would sound so good at the moment. No. Anyways,
We can get back to our place within 10 minutes, all right?
yeah. The whole idea is that you chose a location that's meant to be relatively quick to get to all the different places you want to go to. That was actually a check you guys made before.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'll be invisible the whole way.
Okay. So you guys get back to your place. You go upstairs.
Lock up the door. Well, that's interesting. It's going to cause some issues that at least my capabilities are a little bit more known now, to them at least.
Yeah, you'll hear Viggo over by like a window. He's like probably still got like a minute or something on his invisibility. I want to have a look out and see if anyone kind of followed. You know what I mean? Like if anyone's standing outside.
Oh yeah, I would definitely want to have paid attention to that.
So
yeah, if you go to walk over to the window, but Viggo will say just wait.
So you want to watch to see if anybody
come into the window.
I mean, Gallon would have paid attention on the way home. Yeah.
So you just walk over to find out like where you. Sorry, to watch and see if anybody follow you. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to do
see
that.
Someone like watching the house or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. And so you go over, you do that. I'm gonna have you roll me a perception check, pretty please, and thank you, sir.
I was real scared for that one for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so you absolutely do see a few people out there, some walking by, some sitting there. There's one person that you see sitting on a corner, like literally just kind of like slumped down in a corner. It looks like maybe like a homeless person or a drunk person or something like that you don't recall seeing earlier when you walk up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't there, that they weren't there. Go ahead and roll me a sense of motive, please, sir. So you do get the impression that pretty much everybody walking by there is just there for their own volition, right? Did you want to look that by any stretch, or are you happy with the result?
What do you guys want to just leave it?
I think having our home base not known is a pretty important one. I'd say this is an okay one to use the last luck on.
All right.
We want to make sure that we know we're safe here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you you look again, that one person sitting on the corner there, they do seem a little out of sorts, if you will. Like you're not sure if they were there before or not, but they do occasionally seem to be like almost like occasionally looking up and checking out each, like you happen to be invisible in the window, looking up, checking out each individual window, checking it. Of course, as you guys walked into the room, you guys would have walked in and immediately gone over and like lit a candle or whatever. So that did light up albeit very, very dimly, but would have lit up your window a little bit, right? So you can see that they occasionally, like, while they're sitting there on the corner, they occasionally like, look up at that building, look around, but then up at that building, then around some more, then up at that building. Like they're definitely watching.
Yeah, Viggo would say, yeah, we're being watched.
How do you want to handle it?
Do you want to grab this guy?
He's back at the same time.
Sorry.
Oh, I said, Trish, do you want to grab this guy? Or do you think it's better off to just let them think we don't know they're watching us?
I'll follow your lead, boss. Perhaps we'll find out something interesting from them.
Well, I did make you some potions, didn't I? Did I make you an invisibility potion?
Yeah.
One?
I've got... No. I don't have an invis one, no.
I have one that if you need, you can use, because I can be basically invisible as is. I can go Predator style invisible.
Well, it'll be better if he doesn't see you before you get there.
I'll grab the invisibility potion off of my quick belt. Offer it to Tristan.
You sure?
I mean, I literally got it for situations like this where we need invisibility. It's on my quick belt just in case I needed to use it quickly, but...
I meant more like, you sure we want to kidnap this man?
Yeah, that is a if we commit here and he's I mean, I'm like, he's watching the place, right? But we don't know who he is. We have to deal with him one way or another.
What if
Do we think it's worth it?
What if we just had a chat with him?
Plays our hand in the fact that he'll I mean, if we're just having a chat with him, he'll be let go, you know what I mean, and to report whatever.
Sure. We can't
can't kidnap and kill everyone that's looking at us,
No, exactly.
Yes.
we could change our mind if we felt it was necessary. But at least this way we're not harming or assaulting anyone necessarily.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna follow your lead because you're, like I said, you're the. This is your job.
So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to crystal up and activate all my stealthy shit. So I will be sort of like, in case he tries to make a run for it. So
I'll be watching from the window. I'll give you guys a wave.
Chameleon Stone, Chameleon Modification. So I have to activate all of my things to figure out how much I get. So I want
to. Okay.
So this chappie essentially is either homeless or pretending to be homeless. Where is he in reference to our front door?
So actually, not your front door. Well, not your front door so much as your window, like literally out in an area, kind of like if you're at your window and you're like leaning to the left side of your window frame and looking down into the right, you can see them kind of up against the building, not in an alleyway or anything like that, but like leaning against the corner of a building in the street. So if you were to go out the front door, you would kind of like walk out the front door and kind of turn left, and they would be across the street from you, just right down a little bit, right there. So pretty easy to spot out. And again, out in the middle.
Is there any other way?
Roof. Yes, sir.
Is there any other way out of the building, like a balcony or something anywhere?
I mean, you guys are actually getting the suite here, aren't you? No.
We're on the top.
We're on the top floor.
The top floor, but this, I'm trying to remember because it's been a couple of weeks. My apologies. You guys are in like a middling district. You're not like in one of the finer districts. You guys
we
got
paid
like,
we
you have an apartment.
Pretty decently.
That's right. You're not in an inn. You have an apartment inside of a building.
We have an apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. So there would be a way, kind of, for people that needed to service the roof or whatever. There'd be like a bit of a door out like one of the floors that would allow you to kind of like, go up a bit of a ladder to get onto the roof, almost imagine like an emergency fire exit, but instead of going down, it allows you to go up. So in case somebody had to patch up the roof or whatever, because lots of rain and whatnot happens over by a harbor. But that doesn't let you down though. That only lets you up. And that would be out from the hallway, not from your apartment.
That's fine. I'm gonna be full chameleon stealthed up when I head out that way.
If I remember correctly, this is a converted old mansion, right? Like this is like somebody's mansion got converted into apartments. I believe
there were 3 floors, if I remember right.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So orientate me. We're like returning home and seeing this, right?
You're returning home, and you don't remember seeing this person on the street as you return home. And then by the time you get up the stairs over there, so on and so forth, get in the door, light a candle, settle in for like a moment. Viggo goes over to the window, and then here's what's this fuck walking over to the window. He's like, no, stay there for a second. And then he's like staring out there, and this is where he like notices that person there, and he's like, Tristan, you want to go grab that guy?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go out onto the roof and basically, I'm going to watch from the roof to the point where I want to be able to follow this guy should he make a dash for it, sort of thing.
Absolutely, of course. So what is it? Yeah, so you were going to go onto the roof to be able to watch the person, but not like you're not approaching him. Neil, are you actually approaching him?
Yeah, Tris would be like, I guess I'll go have a chat then.
Okay. So, what do you do?
So he'll casually go down the stairs, make his way across the grounds casually again, before turning and walking at this person.
Okay. You turn and you walk directly at that person. The person noticing you walking at them, probably when you're about like say 20 feet or so away, and you're very obviously walking at them because you're not invisible, right?
Yep.
They like their head will kind of like perk up, and they look at you there, and they're like oh, and then like as you're about 15 feet away, they scramble to get to their feet, and they turn to start to run because you look like a guard coming in, approaching them in the middle of the night.
Tris will raise a hand and say, "Excuse me."
They are a little bit hurriedly with a bit of a limp, like trying to walk away from you as you're saying that.
Tris would like break into a jog and hopefully catch up and gently place a hand on their shoulder.
So you go to.
It's like a gentle but firm.
You go to catch up, and when you go to gently place a hand on the shoulder, it's one of those things where you go to just gently place a hand, but they pull a shoulder away and they whip around and just like look at you. So it's one of those like as they're walking, you go to place your hands, they jerk their shoulder forward and they like whip around as they jerk ahead. They whip around so they're facing you and take a couple of almost stumbled steps backwards. So they're stopping, but like keeping a couple feet between you and them, so you're not like. You know,
I would like to preemptively sort of move in the direction that this guy was going, ready to sort of jump down in his way.
Yeah, you're angling to the corner of the building so that you can do that. Could you go ahead and roll me a stealth check, because I know you're chameleoning up.
I'm more than happy to roll this stealth check.
Sure. Oh! Oh my God! I'm going to have you roll me a perception while the dice are likely going to make you fail, and then I'm going to go to RP and I'll explain stuff in a moment.
You're right. Feast and famine, that's all I'm rolling tonight is just amazing or terrible, nothing in between.
So, because this perception is what you're going to notice while this RP goes down, do you want to modify that right now, or do you want to leave it as it is? And trust in Tristan.
I don't think we have any dice, and I think I'm just. What do you think, guys? Should I attempt the check if we have any dice?
Leave this one to Tristan.
Yeah, I'll leave it to Tristan. I'm worried. I'm just going to worry about
check for watching as well.
That's a good point. He is watching.
You do, but you don't have anywhere near as many angles as he does.
Yeah.
So I will say that you can roll a perception, but I'm going to give you a solid -10.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh boy.
And that's just because you lack angles. So there's very few
that's
opportunities
fair.
for you to see anything.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm focusing on making sure I'm ready to block that door. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's kind of,
I'm ready to block that dude.
It follows to Tristan. So the dude got up and started moving away from you because you're on your own building. They were clearly moving away from your building. But you could easily throw something, shoot something, jump down and run because you're much faster than either of them, so on and so forth, right? So don't think that you just because they're away from you that your options are limited. You are the most mobile character, I think, in any of my current campaigns. So don't you worry about that. And the literally drop of a hat, you're like So I just beat Usain Bolt twice. I lapped him. You know,
it's okay. One thing that you can look forward to, Scott, is when I get my ordered item, I will no longer have expeditious retreat at least. So I'll be a little slower.
All right, so Neil, going to you. Like I said, they kind of like jerked their shoulder forward and did so, kind of like whipping around, but not in like a graceful way. They stumble backwards a couple of steps. So they're like, again, there's a couple feet between you and them. So it's not like watching a sitcom close face to face talking, which is always uncomfortable. It's normal person distance while you're talking. And then as you're talking to them, every like say other sentence or so, they successfully make one more step backwards as they just try to keep. And I imagine you occasionally will take a step forward or whatever as you need to, but like again, you saw the person's limp. Unless it's fake, you definitely are gonna be able to catch them, and they're just being very like cautious, like, you know, you look like a guard coming to approach them. They look like probably a homeless person. So anyways, they whip around, they're turning you, facing you, a couple feet between you. It's your moment to speak.
Tristan, like the hand that he's reached out and grabbed him with, he'd like raise
again,
it calmingly.
They kind of like jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's still up. He'd raise it calmly and be like, "Hey, just wanted to talk. I've not seen any homeless on this street before."
Kind of like, you know, their face gets a little scrunched up, and they just give you like a cautious look.
Look, I'm new. Old lady lives near me. Want to make sure she's safe, living in a safe neighborhood. All right. Not gonna hurt you, don't you worry.
Moment or so passes, and then they just kind of like look over at the building that you were just in, and they look back at you, and they don't say anything or do anything. They just kind of like, oh, like they understood what you said, and like they're acknowledging what you said.
Not seen any homeless here before. What made you change your you knew, or
they just, again, looking at you, they don't say anything. They do like a little, like a half, like they go to turn to like look down the alley, like the street behind them, to see if anybody's coming up behind them or anything like that. When they see that it's clear, they look back at you, and this is where they take like a half step back, and they just slowly shake their head, just a little shake, nothing crazy, you know, not like just like a slow shake of the head.
Tris will lower the hand.
Yep.
Reach into his coin pouch.
Yep.
Pull out a single silver piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then extend his hand out and offer it, and say, "Look, I just want to talk."
They look at the silver piece. What is it? They look down at the silver piece. Let me actually roll something really quickly. I just have to make sure I get this right. Hold on. Ignore the roll. Oh! They don't even look at the silver piece. So you hold up the silver piece. They don't even look at the silver piece. They just continue looking at you. And they don't say anything. They make no real gestures aside from just like the occasional just like movement. Maybe a cold breeze, gust comes by, and like a second or two later,
So
they do a shiver.
Either they've been paid a lot more than a silver piece,
Mm-hmm.
or they're absolutely terrified that I'm about to murderize them. Look, I get it, you're scared. But, could be a decent situation for you. Need gold to live, right?
Like a second or so passes, and they do like a slow nod.
Did you make any gold today?
A second or so passes, and they slowly shake their head.
You making some gold doing this?
Again, like another second or so passes, and then they like raise an eyebrow, and they kind of like crouch back a little bit and take like another step backwards. So now, again, just to be clear, they're still like 5 feet away from you. You know what I mean? Like if you had a pole arm, you'd stab them. So they're not far.
Look, I just want to talk. Hell, it's a good opportunity for you to make a little bit of coin. Now, why don't we have a chat? Come over here. Let's both sit down, rest that leg of yours. Or you could run. You make no coin. You fall, you break something. And we know what that leads to on a street like this. Come on. He'll sit down and he'll pat the floor next to him. And
So
put the coin
I imagine you
on.
don't you like take like maybe 2 or 3 steps off to the side so it's over by the
Yeah.
wall.
So we're not in the middle yet.
Yeah, and you go to sit down. And you put the coin like you said on the ground next to you.
And pat the floor.
Yep. They'll watch you, so you walk over there, and then like you notice that they watch you go over there, and you sit down and they watch the whole thing happen. They'll take like 1.5 steps closer, and then they don't get any closer than like they step back up the street to like where they were standing before they took the 2 steps backwards, but they don't go to the side at all, and they just like turn to face you. And they just cross their arms across their chest, and they look like a little bit cold or whatever, even though it's not that cold of a night. They look a little bit cold, and they don't say anything. They're just watching.
What's your name?
They just shake their head.
Don't
Gentle shakes,
have
but
one?
a few times. Again, they continue to they just continue to shake their head lightly.
All right. Well, my name's Triss. It's nice to meet you.
They'll nod slightly, but nothing. Just like agreeing, like it's nice, but not saying anything.
I bet you must see and hear all sorts of things over the city.
Like a second or so passes, it's kind of like a little bit of a shrug, like almost like a balancing, like yes and no.
I guess that's why you've been hired.
Roll me a sense motive as again another second or so passes, and then they more vigorously shake their head.
Love sense.
Okay. You good with that?
I mean, there's no luck,
Yeah,
and
gotta
like,
have
what's
it.
the point in lucking an 8 in Pathfinder? It's just a pointless roll.
That's not necessarily true because again, things like bluffs and whatnot are based off of the result that I happen to have, right? So
Yeah,
it's up
but
to
a
you if you don't want to.
bartender,
Yeah.
bartender earlier had a +6.
Yeah.
This is a street urchin. Therefore, they require more
Hold up,
skills
hold
to
up, hold up.
survive.
He was a commoner with a class skill. That means he just had to have 2 ranks with a +3 for a class skill and a 1 from. So, anyways, moving on.
+6.
Focusing on you. So he says, so he says nothing, right? He just kind of stands there. But like I said, they shake their head vigorously when you say, the gathering information here, sort of a thing, or whatever.
Hired you, yeah.
Yeah.
No one hired you.
So yeah, they shake their head vigorously.
Can you speak?
There's like a pause, but not like beforehand, where it's like, like they're almost like weighing their words, kind of a pause. There's like a longer pause, maybe a solid 1.5 seconds, like to the point where Tristan's probably about to say something else, but then they nod. They slowly nod their head, like suggesting yes.
That's good. Triss will he'll let it sit for a moment, then he'll reach into his coin pouch and pull out a second silver piece and place it on the floor. You know, terrible what people drop out their pockets nowadays.
They look at the coin piece that you put on the thing, and now they're looking at the fact that there's 2 coins down there. Glinting ever so lightly with the fire, whatever it is that's over there. Had a bit of a glint as you put it down, and Then you say terrible, terrible. What people? What?
Drop nowadays.
They'll look back at you, kind of like a second later. They snap their eyes to yours again when you say that, and there's almost like a little bit of a chuckle, like their chest jolts in a little bit, like there was a bit of a chuckle, like they understand what you're getting at.
Listen, we could really use an extra pair of eyes and ears. If I go back and go to bed, will I see you here tomorrow night?
It's like a second or so. They look down at the coins. Then they turn, they look up at the building again. Then they turn, they look over to like where they were sitting before, which is like several feet or whatever to your left. And then they look back to you. The whole thing takes like a good 10 seconds or so. And then they just kind of like a slight shrug, like maybe.
Well, it's clear you don't trust me yet, but I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
He'll leave the 2 coins and then he'll get up, brush himself off, and good night.
Nods. You go walking back in. What's his face is still hidden up on the roof, so on and so forth. And
I'd wait a little bit longer just to see what the person does, because I don't know what the conversation was. I just know that there was one.
Of course, he watches Triss go inside. Triss goes inside, and several more moments pass. This is where your insane stealth check is very useful there, sir. Your fucking daddy 2045 stealth check. He goes inside. Obviously, him going inside the door, opening and clicking behind, Viggo would kind of hear that, and now he's going to be visible anyway, so he's not really in the window the same as he was before, right? Yeah. So he's going to turn and probably go approach Triss and have whatever RP that they're about to have. Another whole minute or so passes with them just kind of standing there, looking up at the thing, looking down at the coin, looking around in the area, looking up in your direction, but obviously not directly at you by any stretch of the imagination. And then, without picking up the coin, the person then turns and walks down an alleyway, which you think is strange, right?
A limp?
The limp turns and walks down the alleyway. This is what Tesh notices. Tesh, do you do anything at this point in time or no?
Yeah, but do they limp? I need to know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is not usual suspects.
Take him out, Tesh. Take him out.
It's not Kaiser.
No. The fact that they didn't
Throw
pick
those
up...
shurikens.
No, I'm not going to kill them. I am, however... I think I do want to try and follow a little bit, at least while I'm still in the area. I'm going to send a quick message to Viggo, because I don't know how close Triss is up the stairs, that I'm just, he's heading off without taking the money. I'm going to follow just a little bit. I'll be careful.
Okay.
I can reply?
Yeah. You can reply, yeah.
Yeah, you'll get, I told you he was watching us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. I'll be very careful.
Do you pick up the coins as you go past?
If you have to, take him out.
To stop the coins. He's like, oh!
Do you pick up the coins as you go past, or do you leave them there?
I mean, honestly, I'm not caring about the coins right now. If they're still there on the way back, I might grab them, but,
sure. So you hop down and you go down that alleyway where they went. And I imagine you do this quickly. So acrobatics check to drop down very quickly. You don't have to worry about stealth so much, because you don't have to worry about being too loud, because they're literally now down the street, down an alleyway. Their likelihood that if they hear a noise, they know it's you is almost impossible. You know? Unfortunately, you rolled low. You are not. Oh, if you can get a 15, you can actually drop 10 feet, but you're way above 10
I was about to say, I have 40. No, that's for running jump, isn't it? Because I have 40-foot move speed at the moment, which ups the acrobatics. That wouldn't count on this, would it?
I think that's all acrobatics, isn't it? Give me 1 second.
Okay, how much does it?
Acrobatics. I think it's a +4, but I think it's for all acrobatics, not just jump checks. Give me 1 second.
Oh, cool.
So faster base move speed. No, that's just for jumping checks. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine then. I can tank a little bit of damage if I have to.
That's only if you did like a ugh. So instead of just jumping off the ledge, which is not what you described, it was just a quick descent. So so you just take a slightly slower descent. You know, it's one of those, you go back down the thing, you kind of like dangle down, you swing in, you hit the wall with a bit of a like a oof. You kind of like dangling on, and it's just a not so graceful dismount. You go down quicker, but not very gracefully, not as quick as you.
Yeah.
Like
So
to.
this actually makes perfect sense because as a note, unless I wanted to drop my extra chameleon, because I've got two chameleons running because they stack with each other, which is really cool. But I've got them both running, meaning I can't put on the climb augmentation without dropping chameleon.
Oh, okay, cool. So actually, like you just said, works perfectly together. You
Yeah.
got a little freezy. You're catching up now, just so you know. You're like accordioned on Zoom.
Oh,
but
okay.
You're
I'm
fine.
gonna
You're,
make.
You're fine.
Yeah. Just
You
make sure
just wanna
nothing's
turn-
downloading.
If you want to turn camera off for like 10 seconds and turn it back on, that tends to help you a lot.
I might do that.
But back to you. So funny enough, like that loud bang or whatever you did as you like hit the side of the house probably woke up the poor lady, like in the middle of the night. But you go down the alleyway, and as you go down the alleyway, you do not see the person down the alley at all. Like you go to the alleyway, you're careful, you're cautious, you look around. You're welcome to make a perception check.
That's more like it.
It's a beautiful perception check, and you look, but you don't see anybody. You see nobody in the alleyway at all whatsoever. And you take a couple of steps down the alleyway, and like you walk into it a little bit, and you don't see anybody in there. So obviously, kind of like walking through to the other side of the alleyway to see if there's anything you can see out there. Looking around, again, nobody up ahead, nobody hiding. You know how invisibility. Chameleon works, so you're not an idiot. You probably just kind of like one of those things that as you walk down the alleyway, like the way I would imagine a character like yours doing, being as perceptive as they are and being as keen on these kind of things with you being chameleon and him being invisible as you are.
Yep.
You get down the alleyway and you don't just walk down it. You're like, outstretch your arms and like drag them along the walls as you go, just to see if there's anything there. Like one of those, like,
Like, hey, I can use invisibility. Maybe this guy can too, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're being like smart about it, and you come down the other end of the alleyway, and it's like a stop. And you don't necessarily go stepping out into the street at first. You look around, check the roofs, check the down the way. Then maybe 2 steps into the street, look around, and you definitely don't see anybody anywhere.
Well, shit. I'm in that case gonna more likely check the alleyway for hidden doors.
Sure. You go back in, and again, we can maintain the same perception check. That's perfectly fine. But this time,
Cool.
you're actually donating the amount of time that it takes to actively search for doors.
Yeah.
So we're talking like 5
just
minutes.
tell
or
me
something
how
like that.
long. Oh yeah, no, 5 minutes is fine. Every 10 minutes, I require 1 extra PowerPoint used. That's it.
Nope, we're
So,
talking 5 minutes. 'Cause
I
the
can
way
do it for 130 minutes.
the way it works is a 1 minute of searching is supposed to be like a deep search for a 10-foot square, right? But 10-foot cube. But like you're clearly like turning that cube into 2-dimension as you're like walking up and down an alleyway. So 5 minutes is fine of actively searching the alleyway, and you find nothing there, nothing at all.
Oh shit. Okay. That's not good.
I mean, you find like a broken bottle and like a used condom, but that's it.
They don't have that technology.
Oh, sorry. An umbilical cord? Well, they couldn't stop the baby, so they had it in the alley. Oh, sorry.
Fuck. Okay. In that case, there's nothing more, unfortunately, that I can do if I have no idea where this guy went and he just fucking vanished.
You go walking back to your establishment, your home, I imagine.
Yeah.
You're walking back up to the home, and as you walk back to the home, you look down.
The coin is gone.
The coins are gone.
Oh, interesting.
It was an alien.
I am going to head upstairs and relay all of this information, including the fact that the coins disappeared after the fact, meaning this guy has some fucking skills. If he evaded me while I was stealthed pretty heavily, like Galen is confident in his stealth abilities, even if he doesn't know he did that well. As far as he doesn't know what he rolled, he's confident in his stealth abilities. So the fact that this guy evaded him is worrying. But he's Yeah, he's just going to relay that information. We should probably, unfortunately, sleep in shifts again.
Okay. So we need to button off this session. But before we do so, I imagine when Triss first goes upstairs and sees Viggo, you guys are going to leave Galen alone aside from the occasional check-in. Like, oh, he's not here. I'm going to look in the alley. Shit, nothing here either. Fuck, the coins are gone. Aside from like little things like that. You're going to leave him alone to concentrate. So I don't know if you guys have any RP as he comes walking back into the room with Viggo.
Viggo would just say to him, what happened?
He
Well-
seemed...
Oh, sorry. It's you two, right? My bad. It's you two while I'm gone.
Triss would say he seemed terrified. Didn't really get anything out of him. Had a limp. Probably not capable of running if he'd tried. I suggested that maybe I'd come down and have a chat with him tomorrow. If he's there.
Well, he's hopefully Galen's following him now, though he was watching specifically us. So if he does come back tomorrow, hopefully you can get some more out of him, because it's not a coincidence he was here. He wasn't when we walked past to begin with. But then, yeah, as soon as we got inside, he was within view, watching. We just
Well,
have to see what happens tomorrow night.
he seemed like a homeless man. I wouldn't be surprised if someone had paid him. Though, interestingly, I offered him a couple silver, he didn't take them.
Well, I think it's clear, at least in my mind. He works for somebody, but who? And hopefully we can find that out. Hopefully Galen has some luck.
Well, you never know. The other way is to earn his trust.
True. Let's hope it's the way that works. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, Triss had just started taking his armor off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dare say, like, so we don't have to go through it though. Like everything that we both learned, like once Galen gets back, we'll share with each other.
Everybody shares with one another. The broken blades, so on and so forth, which is a group none of you guys have ever heard of before. Certainly another lead, and so not only did you discover something called the broken blades, who are apparently looking yay, Galen pissed off the wrong people that were unrelated to your story, are looking for somebody named Crow, who happens to be working at the docks. That's probably a relatively easy person for you guys to discover because you have abilities. And then you also learned that that one person that you had met with last night, who's here temporarily, has some sort of affiliation with the Kingsguard, who definitely look down upon the Black Knights. Though this person's new to the area, so whatever the affiliation with the Kingsguard is, either A, they were lying about being new to the area, or B, it's some sort of loose affiliation to the Kingsguard, and they genuinely are new to the area. Either way, their friend, who is here, genuinely is ignorant. This is just their stag party hanging out with their buddy. Sorry, Tesh, I spoke over you 4 times.
Yeah, a very key detail, Scott. Did Triss touch him?
I don't believe so, no.
He did.
No.
He
described you trying to touch him and him backing out of the touch.
No, he can't back out because he was moving away. So unless he moved faster forward, he literally can't.
I'm pretty sure he literally like pulled his shoulder away as you were about to do that.
I think Scott described it
as Triss tried to turn him, so hand touch shoulder, he went like that.
I have to check the
contact. Contact was made.
Check the VOD.
I feel like this is an unfortunately important detail.
We need a
because
clip,
it might have been
Steve.
a case.
It
might have been a case
that
it would explain why they didn't talk.
Yeah, but illusions can make sound unless it's specifically silent.
No, as it also could have been a person disguised.
But
and not wanting
if
to
it
talk.
was a silent image, though, you wouldn't have heard footfalls, and that's something that
Sorry,
he would have noticed.
I'm more thinking it's someone disguised. Is what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, that's potentially true. Sure. But if Joey said something about silent image, but you definitely, if you didn't hear footfalls, I would allow you to make a perception check to notice that, right?
Yeah, no, this is player knowledge, not PC knowledge.
Yeah, but I as a DM, if it was silent image and you saw somebody walk away, pull away, and stuff like that, make slow steps on the ground, you would definitely be allowed a perception check to notice that there's no sounds to that. Like that is uneering. That's awkward, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm more concerned about the fact that they went back for the coins, which means they doubled back, likely stealth, at the very least, sneaking very well or invisible.
Yeah. But hopefully you'll see them again tomorrow night, or if not tomorrow night, sometime in the near future. And,
at the very least, they're not who they seem, which is the important part, because a normal beggar would not be able to pull the shit that person just pulled.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, cool. All right, I am good. I have to pee really badly, and then I'm immediately flowing into a quick Adirian update to try to either do Norway, if Norway is available, or do Valorant / Sun's Rest.
Shouldn't you like buying away dinner first?
And then I am a hard out at 12:30. So I am going to go pee. So we can finish up the session. I'll disappear. I'll come back. We'll get that out of the way. And then the most important one is if Norway's here and he's available, that's awesome. That's good for me to get done because the other part I can do by myself. I don't have to wait for anybody. And that finishes up the current month of Adirian updates. And then we can start the next month, which is exciting. Cool. I'm excited. Anything else you boys want to say or do before we go? Tesh, have you been getting on that train of what's that game that everybody's playing now? Ark?
Lost Ark. No, I'm not.
Okay.
But what I am doing is next Wednesday. It's at morning instead of nighttime for me. Next Wednesday at assumedly 9 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time. Put it into Google if you want to know. I'm going to be playing the Witch Queen expansion for Destiny 2, which I am so hyped. This is expecting that the servers have been fixed by the time I wake up, because they are always a bit iffy on launch.
Which Australia time? I don't know.
That's like 7-ish Eastern Standard, I think. 7:30.
Like 10 o'clock.
Is it really that late Eastern Standard? Oh, of course, because time zone bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, for you, okay.
Why would I care what time it is for them?
I will actually probably say it's Central Daylight Time, because funky daylight savings is opposite. Anyway, I'm going to be playing. Watch my Twitter. I'll give more accurate times closer to when it's happening. But I'm going to be trying to get through the whole campaign. If it's as long as they're saying, I might not make it through all of it, but I think I probably will, and I'm excited.
Perfect. What time is that? Your time? Wednesday morning. What time? Your time?
9 a.m. Australian Central Daylight
So
Time.
it's Tuesday, like afternoon for me.
An hour and a half, then 12 hours. Like an hour and a half before this started was 9 p.m. So 9 a.m. would be an hour. What's an hour and a half before this starts for you, Scott? So that's
an hour and a half before this starts.
Yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Hour and a half before this starts is 5:30 in the morning, so 5:30 p.m.
So 5:30 p.m. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go hang out with Tesh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
He is exiting.
And that's next Wednesday. So it's the morning before this. So the night before this for.
Perfect. I need a pee, and then I want to come back and take care of Norway. Awesome. Bye, everybody. Bye. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're just going to go to a different overlay, and I'm kicking them from the call. Bye, everybody. And I'm ending the recording in 3, 2...